Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another series of Blizzard Comedy's broadcast Avalanche. I know, I'm sorry, I didn't want this either, but no matter how hard I pray every night, stuff just keeps happening to talk about. And what would the 15-odd people who watch these streams do if we didn't talk about it? Where would they get their information from? What, their own sources and discuss it with trusted friends? Nobody wants that, so here we are. As always, I'm your host and compere, Johnny Collins. I have a dark mullet, a nose ring, eyeshadow in the non-binary colours, and look like what would happen if a tomboy and a twink had a baby, and that baby grew up to be Joan Jett. In the news this month, house prices have reportedly fallen by 3.4%, making the average UK property price now estimated at £260,736, which is good news for millennials because now you only need to skip 81,000 avocados to get on the property ladder rather than the 84,000 you had to before. Nature is healing. The Daily Telegraph and the Spectator newspapers have been put up for sale to recover debts incurred by the publication's parent company, so best get subscribing to that Patreon if you haven't already. I've got a fantastic idea for a rebrand. I'm not actually going to do that. That'll be a nightmare. A sequel to the popular TV drama Life on Mars has been scrapped, probably because if there is life on Mars, Elon Musk will have killed it by the time the show was ready. I know the show is nothing about Mars. Leave me alone. Nadine Dorries has announced that she will stand down as an MP with immediate effect, triggering a by-election. As of the time of this recording, she hasn't actually formally stood down yet, which is not the kind of edging any of us wanted or need. Hurry up and fuck off. Boris Johnson has also announced he will stand down as an MP with immediate effect after receiving a report into Partygate. Allies have complained that the party and Parliament were forcing him out, which is a bit like complaining that you're being kicked out of the house that you've been burgling for the last 4 years straight. He wasn't supposed to be there anyway. He's done near insurmountable amounts of damage at this point, and he's already gotten away with it for so long that, if anything, it's a miracle they've let him stay for this long. Best thing is, Parliament wasn't even forcing him out. At most, he would have faced an admittedly hefty suspension and probably a by-election to keep his seat, but in reality, it's more like if the aforementioned burglar was let loose in the same house for 4 years before then being handed a piece of paper that says, "Oh, you've been burgling this house," and then storming out moaning about cancel culture again. Since stepping down, Boris Johnson has had quite a few career moves. He has accepted a new job writing for the Daily Mail, which makes sense given that newspaper is basically an unofficial fanzine for him anyway. Boris Johnson's first article in the Daily Mail was basically a free advert for diet medication. So sooner or later, Boris Johnson's going to be DMing all of his former MP friends, saying, "Hey, I know we haven't spoken in a long time, but I've always really loved your vibes. How you doing, man? Oh, that's great. I'm doing it. I've just been taking these new pills. Actually, they really work wonders. They really stop all my cravings. We're actually throwing food out of the fridge now because it's just going off. We're not eating them. Tell you what, I'll send you a sample pack for free if you just give all your mates my unique sales code, and then your next pack will be half price. No, don't thank me. I'm doing this because I believe in you." I'm glad you laughed at that. That would have been a very awkward 30 seconds if you hadn't. Researchers at the University of Cambridge have reported the creation of the first synthetic human embryo from stem cells without the need for sperm or egg cells. Now that he's out of Parliament, Boris Johnson said to be investing heavily in this technology so he can have even more kids he doesn't acknowledge without even having to have another affair. MPs have voted in favour of the report, finding that Boris Johnson deliberately misled the Commons over lockdown parties at Downing Street at 354 votes to 7, which is apt, because at the rate we're currently going, that's probably the number of Tory seats that are going to be left after the next general election. Hopefully that hasn't jinxed it. Jeremy Hunt has ruled out direct financial support for mortgage holders over fears that it will just make inflation worse. Personally, I don't know what mortgage holders are worried about. Just cancel Netflix, you'll be fine. A submersible exploring the wreck of the Titanic, I had to say it, you knew it was coming, were killed following a catastrophic implosion. Not in itself hilarious, but apparently the owners seem to have rung up Kate and Jerry McCann for advice on how they can best convince half the world to continue looking for definitely dead people long after there's no hope of finding any evidence of them, whilst ensuring no aid is given to continued threats to life of poorer and less white people fleeing war zones. Not the funniest thing, but come on. It keeps happening. The son of one of the victims was actually recently criticised for posting about attending a Blink-182 concert in the middle of the breaking news story. But honestly, what better way to say I miss you? All the small things might have been a bit on the nose given the state the victims must be in now, but I digress. Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg are seemingly game for a cage match, although that's now been cancelled. Thanks for ruining this joke. I can't be asked to rewrite it. In what's possibly the first time two men have managed to embarrass the entire internet simultaneously this much. In a fight which the only way anyone can win is if the cage itself is dropped into the ocean and implodes under the pressure of the water. It has been demonstrated that billionaires do have this one weakness. That was the last one, I promise. Liz Truss has said that she didn't find it particularly funny having her leadership compared to the life of a lettuce. The lettuce, on the other hand, found it hysterical, and the lettuce didn't crash the economy in under a month. So I know where I trust on this one, Liz. An attempted coup on Putin's Russia was abandoned in exchange for immunity and exile, proving that Putin might not be able to win a war or even negotiate, but he can cower in fear of his own people until they give up out of pity, until another world leader steps in to bail you out. Maybe they should try that in Ukraine next, like reverse warfare psychology. Withdraw all your troops and just hide in Greg's till it all blows over, then carry on like nothing happened. Can't be worse than your existing military strategy. And finally, the only unionized strippers in America have publicly backed the writers' strike in America and joined them on a picket line in a huge show of solidarity. I've not even got a joke for this one. That's just unironically really cool, and I wanted to share it with you all tonight. And I'll tell you who else is unironically really cool and I want to share with you tonight. Our fabulous team captains! It's really awkward when I have to do OBS and read the script at the same time. Our team captains, Katie Mitchell and KIRSTIE Summers.
Hi.
Move you over there. That makes it much easier. On Katie's team, we are joined by genuinely two of the loveliest people in comedy: the playfully eccentric ISHI Khan and the equally eccentric history nerd MABEL SLATTERY.
Yay!
And on Kirstie's team, we are joined by professional writer Ella BAMBUST and professional lad Tom Short.
Hey.
Hello.
Welcome. How are you all doing, Katie? Yeah, it's good. I don't know what time is anymore. I don't think I've seen you in ages. It was probably April, but that feels like a decade ago. How are you doing?
I popped in for the birthday for about half an hour and performed for 10 minutes of it, and then had to go there and back again for work. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm now in the notice period of that job, which is exciting and slightly terrifying.
Oh no, that's fantastic. Before we carry on, do you want to just quickly describe your appearance for the sake of the audience?
Oh yeah, I have big backcombed hair like Susie Sue or Robert Smith, or someone who's had an unfortunate electrical incident, or someone like got hands, or like a microphone cover if it's windy and they put the furry one on so you don't get all of the that, but with like pink and yellow eyeshadow on, which I look like an eyeshadow brush basically.
Absolutely beautiful,
which is a horrible thought, actually.
Yeah,
There's a human woman under all of that, and she looks pretty damn good, if I'm saying so myself. I just don't want to leave, any visually impaired people with just like a horrible amalgamation in their minds. It's cruel.
Oh God, yeah. If anyone wants to draw any of these,
Blizzard comedy fan art.
Yeah, but entirely just based on our descriptions of ourselves, and then we can then we can get better at actually doing them, so you know what we look like. Brilliant, thanks very much.
Everyone has to watch this back when they've forgotten what we look like, but only audio, and then do their fan art drawings, and then we'll make a zine of it for Christmas.
Last time I was on, Harry Bentley drew fan art of all the people because they're incredible and made me so happy.
Oh, that's amazing.
We've had a few people do fan art of people. I remember the first time Izzy showed up at a live show and they just sat there doodling the whole time, and that was sick.
Yeah, it was really cool. I've lost. What are we doing here? Let's just talk about cool artists we know. This is much more fun than anything else that's been happening. So yeah, lovely to have you back, Katie. You've got some exciting shows coming up. Do you want to tell us about some of them?
Yeah, I'm doing Best in Class in Edinburgh this year. So it's an initiative to get working class people up to the fringe and in like a really good, proper compilation show. And yeah, I won the panel award last year, and I'm going up with a bunch of cool people like Danny Johns and other people who I've been friends with for like a year now, and I've completely forgotten their names, so I'm on the spot. And like Sean Davies has organised it, and I'm really excited. I'm performing from the 4th to the 15th of August, but the show is going on all month. And if you're in Edinburgh, you should go see it because everyone in there is like doing straight bangers, and it's going to be sick.
I love that turn of phrase, straight bangers. Also, thanks for the hydration, Shuffle Melsors, and welcome to the stream. I see it's your first time. Welcome, everyone. Also, yeah, I can see that you've already been enjoying the Blizzard Snowflake Simp emoji that I spent all of the last stream making. So yeah, if you want to use that, I think you mostly probably have enough channel points that you could just redeem it now. But if you want to subscribe to us, you'll get that as well, and that way you'll also give us some money, which would be nice. But I'll get onto that after we've actually done some funny things. Not while I'm introducing everyone. But yeah, thanks everyone, and thanks very much, Katie, for coming on the show. And yeah, do go see Katie at Best in Class, or indeed anywhere where she happens to be near you. In the context of a performance, don't just like stalk her. That we would not endorsing that.
I'm very active on Instagram, so you can just track me.
Yeah, we've put Katie's link tree in the description, so you can follow her on all of those socials. And we put the Best in Class link as well, so you can have a look at that as well if you are going to be up in Edinburgh. And if you're not, then I mean you can still have a look at it, but it probably won't be very helpful. Right, thanks very much. We're also joined by long-time collaborator KIRSTIE Summers. How are you doing, my friend?
I am good. I'm both really enjoying and really hating the hot weather. I can't decide.
I feel that.
Like
I've actually had to shut my windows because I think a new family has moved into this block, which is great, but there's like a lot of noisy children playing in the garden, which is fine. That's their right to do. But I feel like I shouldn't loudly be shouting swear words with the windows wide open where they can just hear it. So I'm in a box right now.
Living near you is an educational experience. Expand their vocabulary, hearing what comes out through your window.
To be fair, the soundproofing's not great. They're probably hearing it anyway, but now I can look like I've made an effort to... Now it just looks like they're eavesdropping rather than I'm actually actively shouting out the window at them.
I hope they appreciate the sacrifice you're making for them, babe.
I hope they do. Do you want to describe your appearance for the audience?
Yeah. So I've got like a round face, and square glasses, and so like my hair is supposed to be red, but it's very much pink, and it's the same color as my t-shirt. And if I look off to my left, I got a dragon on the side of my head, which is partially obscured by the hair I have not shaved in nearly 2 weeks. But it's very cool, so I'm going to bring it up anyway. And if I lift my hand up so you can see it, I've got a pasty white hand where I've been wearing cycling gloves, and then a tanned brown arm where I've been wearing t-shirt. When I go out to try and make the most of the sunny weather on my bike, which is like all I have done in about 2 months. I have been at work and I've done admin for this show, and I have ridden my bike in the sunshine and nothing else.
Living the dream. Thanks so much for all you do, KIRSTIE. I love you. In fact, well, yeah, you've got other streams as well, which we'll probably get to again once we talk to Tom Short. But you've got some other projects as well. Do you want to tell us about?
Yeah, I have been. We're on stream 7 next week, I believe, or the week after. The week after, 2 weeks from today. We're on stream 7 of Talking Trubbish with my good colleague Tom Short here on, I want to say, this side.
Yep.
And I'll find out if I'm correct later. Yeah, we've been just talking about Pokemon. We're doing it 1 episode at a time. And like, I mean, we never just talk about the Pokemon. Like, we're both the people that we are. We just talk for 40 minutes about other shit with a Pokemon as a starting point. But it's well fun. If you like listening to us waffle for 40 minutes and then go, oh shit, we were supposed to be talking about a Pidgey. Come and listen to our podcast. We do live streams over on Tom's Twitch channel, which I'm sure he'll tell you more about in a bit. And then we've got all of our like single episodes available on YouTube and Podbean, wherever you want to listen to them. So yeah, we're having a lot of fun with it. It's a bit silly, but in like a good way. And we've got this cute little mascot which is a crocheted trubbish.
That's adorable.
That friend of the show, Katie Liz, made for me and gave me on my birthday.
That's beautiful.
Which I thought was very cute of her, and I love it so much. Because I'm one of those people that actually thinks Trubbish is a well-cool Pokemon. Spicy hot take right there.
Is Trubbish the bin bag one?
The bin bag Pokemon, yeah.
I've not played any Pokemon since Gen 4, but I vaguely remember that being a meme when it was first revealed.
I think it makes the same amount of sense as Grimer,
I was going to say,
Pokemon.
that's just sludge, yeah.
Like, I think...
Well, the Pokemon that's just a Pokeball.
This is a thing that you'll hear me say a lot if you do listen to the show, right? Pokemon was always unimaginative. You just care now that you're an adult. Like, the first one had a ball, a bigger ball, a rat, a bigger rat, a bunch of eggs, a seal that was called Seal, which evolved into a bigger seal. Like, it was never trying very hard.
And a pigeon called Pidgey, as we were just talking about.
A pigeon called Pidgey, and then and it just, like, it had no gimmick. Like, the first one had, like, no gimmick. It was Pidgey, and then there's a bigger bird, and then a bigger bird.
Yep. So,
there were a lot of birds.
So if you want to hear more of that, you can do so. We've got the Talking Trubbish YouTube channel. I've not actually got the Podbean link. I need to add that as well, but I do have the YouTube channel there, so go and follow that.
I can grab it for you.
Cool. I'll add that to the command. Because Kirstie's on enough of these shows that is just a standing command in the bot. So you can always just find that if you want to. But thanks very much for coming back on the show, Kirstie. Now to our guests, we've got wonderful favourite of the show who hasn't done it for a few months now, but we've got ISHI Khan. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you, Johnny. It's good to be here. I've just been on the phone all day trying to get a broken washing machine sorted.
Fun.
Customer service. So to get ready for this show, I went and crashed into Rainbow, and as a result, have bits of rainbow all over my face and on my hair. So yes, I'm ready.
You are ready. Fantastic. Yeah, do you want to do your image description quickly? I mean, like, you've already touched on it with the rainbows, but...
Yeah, so my skin shade is, I would say, probably Misty Buff. On a Dulux colour chart. And I'm wearing glittery purple lipstick today. And what else can I say? I've got long dark hair and dark brown eyes, and yeah, and let me just see. I've got a third eye. There we go.
Beautiful. I love it. I think that'd be quite inaccurate if someone was drawing that just based on the description alone. I think that's really lovely. Thanks so much for coming on the show. And yeah, I empathise with your frustrations with customer service. I've spent this entire month trying to get a super drug order to show up, which was given to Every. They tried to deliver it on the only 2 days a week that I'm in work, and you can't leave the dates you're going to be at home in with them or anything like that. And then they rang me and I was like, oh yeah, I'll be in tomorrow. And then I just heard nothing for 3 weeks. So I've managed to sort that now, but Every aka Hermes are notoriously impossible to contact. They don't even have a Twitter account, so I couldn't passively aggressively subtweet them. So it was just, so yeah, that was fun. I appreciate your anger. But enough about that. You've got some fun shows coming up. Do you want to tell us about what you're doing over the next few weeks?
Oh yes, so I'm taking my show called Love, Desires and Strawberries to the Buxton Fringe in July. So woo! It's the 20th and 22nd of July. It was at the Leicester Comedy Festival and it's sold out. So it'll be lovely to see people there if they can make it. It is a fun show and it does have prop stuff and it is rude. So.
Fantastic. I might just come along to that. I've got mates in Buxton. I've not visited them for a while, so that is a good excuse to do so. But awesome. Yeah, if you're around the area, or even if you're in Manchester, Buxton's fairly easy to get to on the train. So yeah, that's definitely something to recommend. And if you can't make that, I'm sure she'll be taking the show around various other cities as well at some point. So lovely. Thanks very much for coming on the show, ISHI. And we're also joined by Ella BAMBUST. How are you doing, my love?
I'm doing very good, thank you.
Good. It is delightful to see you again. Do you want to describe your appearance for anyone?
Yes. Imagine an alternate reality, if you will. where Harry Potter never existed, and Daniel Radcliffe got to transition. And now she's a librarian, and she's wearing little bat-shaped chains attached to her glasses and a shirt with a raccoon, possum, and skunk on it that says "Adopt a cat."
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, and I have a side shave, but you can't see it.
You have a what? Sorry.
A side shave.
Oh, a side shave, right? I thought you just said sideshow, and I was just going to go with it, but then I was like, no, I should clarify what you mean. Yeah, awesome. Yeah. It's the problem with wearing these bulky headphones. You do any interesting hairstyles, and you can't actually tell.
Well,
but
it's that, and I haven't shaved it in like months, so it's this long.
Right. Oh, fair enough. It's that long, but it's just shorter than the rest of it.
Yeah. Well, the rest of it is currently way up, and there's still so much of it. It goes all the way down, like all the way down. Like
yeah.
it's in the I'm in the like finding hair in places phase.
Yeah, I remember that very well.
Oh yeah.
Oh, awesome. Well, it was lovely to have you back on the show. So you are actually better than all of us because you don't actually do comedy, but you do these shows.
Yes.
So I appreciate it.
I do have I have the moral high ground.
But you do some other cool stuff. You do some writing, and I was just going to lead you into it. I'll let you say it. What cool thing have you got to share with us today?
Okay, two things. One, I recently finished another book, but what else is new? And I'm now also writing a monthly column, which none of you will be able to read, I assume, because it's in Dutch. And me and 23 other authors and artists work together to create a bundle full of books, visual novels, games, all starring queer and trans characters for Pride Month, and it's been doing really well. But it's going to be going for another 2 days and 20 hours, something like that, and we still appreciate every single person who checks it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because there's some amazingly talented people working on it, and me.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Also, I've been dealing with the weather like this, which promise get one.
I've been meaning to pick up one of them for ages, and I just haven't. That is next on my plan.
It's so useful.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful. Thanks very much. Put the link to the itch.io. Is it itch.io or itch.io? I don't know. But
it's on itch.io. It's what I always hear.
Yeah. We've put that in the chat, so go and check that out if you want. As a general rule, I always like pick up these bundles whenever they're going anyway. But yeah, this is a really cool one, and there's a lot of really cool stuff in there. And you're saving like I think you're saving like over $150 based on what all the individual items would be called. So,
yeah, there's 4 of my works are in there.
Yeah. So yeah, if you've not already got them, or even if you do already have them, it's a good cause, and yeah, you should buy that if you are able to, and if you're not, you should just share it with everyone you know as required reading if they want to be a real ally. Yes. Thanks very much, Colin.
Please guilt trip your cishet friends into buying it.
Absolutely, they've got 2. I mean, they could buy it after the bundle's gone. They could just give them a lot more money. But if they want to get it at a reasonable, at a frankly superb offer, you can do it that way.
Sorry, there's something very funny about ISHI's screen saying Katie Mitchell.
Oh no! I literally just noticed that. Hang on. I can fix this. Yeah, I think I fixed it.
Yeah,
yes. I appreciate you, Johnny.
I don't know how that happened. That's weird. Hang on. There's a way to like stop Zoom auto ordering things. I think, but I'm gonna figure out how to do it later. I think it's whenever people like turn their webcams off, it often puts them to the bottom, which fucks up everything. But yeah, that was fun. I hadn't even noticed that. Thanks for pointing that out, and thanks for coming on the show. We've got 2 more guests. Our next guest is an absolute darling. What MABEL SLATTERY. MABEL, how are you doing?
Hello, I'm all right, thank you. I am very glad that it's about to like thunderstorm.
Is it? Oh, good. Yeah, we had some rain yesterday. Weren't there any storms? I don't know what today's doing. It started off really hot, and then it's I'm not going to talk about the weather for like another 5 minutes, but yeah, I'm just not a fan of summer, right? Do you want to describe your appearance for us all here?
I am oh god, how do I describe my appearance? I'm a small curly-haired lady wearing glasses who looks very much like you put like a stereotypical gran and a 12-year-old like into a blender and then whiz it around very quickly, and then it comes out looking like a wayward aunt.
Oh, delightful imagery. Love it. Superb. I don't know if I put your socials in chat. I'm going to do that now, actually. If I already have, well, you can see him again.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have all the cool things that everyone else has to do. I've spent the last 6 months recovering from a massive operation, so I've been doing hardly anything.
I mean, that is understandable. I feel like you very much earned the right to do absolutely nothing after that. Yeah, that's really, really cool. And you're doing this show, which is nice. So if you're not already watching this show, you should be watching this show. I'll link to our Twitch in the chat, so you can just find that.
I mean, and I've been making food out of yarn. That's been that's what I've been doing lately. This is
amazing. I mean, again, this is more important than any comedy anyone has done ever. So I think you should stop underselling yourself. Fantastic. Well, you can go follow MABEL on Instagram, which is in the chat, if you want to keep up with what they are doing.
I'll be posting crochet food soon. It's about to take over.
That's it. I'm really enjoying just the career trajectories of everyone at the moment. It's a lot of fun. Brilliant. Well, thanks very much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, so follow MABEL, and anything that they start doing, I'm sure they will be telling you all about it on their Instagram. And if they're not, then I don't know what to tell you. But thanks for coming on the show. Thanks for coming on the show, MABEL. And last but not least, we're joined by Tom Short. Tom, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you doing? I'm
doing all right. Really not enjoying hotboxing myself in sweat. Currently with all the windows and doors shut. I don't know, that's not what hotboxing means, but I stand by it. But otherwise, I'm doing all right. I've got my chilled water, and I'm ready to rock and roll. Do you want to describe your appearance for everyone who might need it?
Okay, so I've been told recently that I look like if the character Mr. Poppy from Nativity couldn't afford a haircut. You want to imagine that?
So specifically niche, love it.
I've been told at the first gig I ever did, no, not the first gig, but like one of the first improv gigs I ever did, someone came up to me and asked me if I was Peter Kay's less successful brother. So just imagine that.
Yeah.
Kind of fat-faced. Do you know what, right? I feel like as I'm getting older, looking a bit like more and more like John Wayne Gacy. Brown hair, long, going greyer than I'd like it to. Wearing a grey hoodie, and I shan't show you, but I'm wearing Homer Simpson swimming shorts. But I mean, I don't know why. I mean, you said describing my appearance. I didn't know if it was just what you could see on the screen.
You've gone out of the frame so that, yeah. The visually impaired actually get a more holistic representation.
Yeah.
That's cool.
If it helps, I'm wearing a dinosaur bra.
I'm really enjoying
the chat where you got that at once.
Tom, I'm really enjoying the idea that John Wayne Gacy has been told by someone that he looks like Peter Kay's less successful younger brother.
Yeah. I think that's how he got started.
That's how he got started. Yeah, that's how he started. So stop saying that to Tom. We've no idea what's going to happen. Well, that's going to be in all the fan art. Fantastic. Also, hello, Corporate Penguin. Welcome to the chat. Fab. We've already kind of touched on the podcast that you're doing with KIRSTIE, but I'll put your links in the chat. We've got your Twitch and a few other links as well. You've got anything else coming up that you want to talk about that you might be doing with us in like a week's time?
Yes, I've just done a little sneaky shout out for it on Facebook. So I'm doing a preview of the new show. It's called the Stand Up Horror Show. It's a mashup of comedy and horror. It's an occult cabaret where it's going to be so this is the concept of it currently. It's this like magician who does like death-defying stunts, has and does mind reading and telepathy and all that kind of stuff. Is about to come out of retirement, and then just before the show starts, this magician's trick where he dodges a load of nails from a nail gun kills him just off stage. So it then falls upon me as the understudy to put the show together.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
it sounds great.
You know, it's all coming together. So yeah, we're doing the last Manchester preview for Blizzard, which is July the 3rd. And I mean, we mentioned it on the Talking Trubbish because I just asked KIRSTIE how the tickets were doing, and apparently they're doing, or at least they were doing, like slightly better than expected. So hopefully that'll sell out. So if you want to come down to that, like, get your tickets in now before it's too late. But
tickets are free
also,
to book, but please do book tickets. Otherwise, we might not be able to fit you in on the night. So make sure you book.
Yes, definitely do. Because, like I say, this is the last Manchester preview before the Edinburgh run, and then after the Edinburgh run, it just starts on the tour. Then, so like, get in now. And I'm also doing something called Comedy Lab, which is where I am using my pedagogical cap and my comedy cap in tandem as a way of kind of combining like what I do on stage. But I don't feel like most kind of comedy courses, so it's like a comedy workshop course, just focus on like stand-up or just focus on improv or focus on clowning. And I feel like I've always kind of mixed the three. So it's my attempt to kind of teach people how to mix the three and kind of boost their like presentation skills if you're like a performer or not performer. But that is this weekend, and there's 3 spaces left, and then that's sold out. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, that's on this weekend in Manchester.
Fab. Cool. Thanks very much, Tom. Yep. So links to links to all of our upcoming shows is in the chat. Because we've got a few coming up. We've got the one with Tom Short, who's splitting a preview with the best boy Ben Hodge. That which is the one which is on Monday. Then we've got our regular show headlined by Radu Izak on the 11th of July. And then Sam C and myself are doing previews on the 24th, and it'll be my first ever one, and I'm shitting it, so that's going to be fun. Tickets for that one are available to patrons and will be available to the general public in like a week or so, I believe. Is that right, KIRSTIE? Is it usually a week? I can't remember.
Yeah, so they're all live. They're all live. You can get the one for Tom and Ben now, and I recommend you do, because, like Tom said, the
our previews normally do not sell as well as they've been doing so far.
At the moment, yeah, we still have some seats left at the moment, but we have sold more, booked more tickets for this one at this stage than we usually do on shows that do sell out. Again, because it's a preview, I can't say for sure that people are going to have the same mad rush at the last minute as they do for our regular shows, but they might. So if you want to come, book a ticket and quickly. Our next regular show is following week, and that's still got plenty of tickets, but that went up a bit later than usual because we've got so many previews on around like our regular shows at the moment that I have spaced them out a bit more than normal. And then the tickets for Jonny and Sam's previews went live today. So because they have only just gone live, they're currently available for patrons. If you feel like jumping on our Patreon, like, I'm not going to stop you. But that has already sold a bunch of tickets. Like, our patrons are on it this time. So yeah, I'd recommend getting on that as soon as you can as well. And yeah, I usually give it a week, so they'll be live by next Monday,
Sweet.
depending. Although next Monday's my dad's birthday, so I might not be working, so it might be Tuesday or Wednesday. It depends. Like, this is a very like variable, flexible kind of schedule that I'm running based on what else I have going on in my life.
Fab. Thank you. Thanks very much for remembering all the stuff that I didn't. Appreciate you, Kirstie. I think we've massively overrun the intro by quite a while, which is entirely my fault. So we're going to start the actual show now. But quickly before we do,
don't we?
There's been once that we didn't.
When does anything ever run to time?
At least one time there was. I am just going to put all of the Blizzard Comedy social links in the chat as well, so you can go follow them if you're not doing already. But yeah, let's start with the actual show. Our first round is called Fake News, which is like the real news, but better because it's not actually happening. Each team will be given 3 headlines from the past month, 2 genuine, 1 a fabrication of my own making, and it's their job to identify which one that one is what I made up. So we're going to start with Katie's team. Your 3 headlines are: Davis District pulls Bible from elementaries, junior highs due to vulgarity or violence. Man 21 refused on EasyJet flight after changing name to Ryanair. And pick your own event off as fruit was eaten by birds. So what are your thoughts?
Okay.
I
know the fruit one, the pick your own one, is real.
Oh, good.
Because
Well, that was
because-
anticlimactic.
because Cornwall Live went mad about it. And even though it didn't happen in Cornwall Live were like, didn't happen in Cornwall, but damn, it could have. So we're publishing it anyway.
I don't hate that. There's like record loads of insects. They can have some raspberries or whatever.
Absolutely, yeah. They,
Please.
it's just gonna be people trying to keep, like little chlamydia and parsley quiet over a weekend.
Like, go get your strawberries from the reduced section from everyone else. Like me
Yeah.
right now.
Exactly, yeah.
£5 down to $2.55. Are you kidding me?
Yes.
Do we need to pick our own?
Yeah, it's yes, but yeah, it was they had to just cancel it, which I think is wonderful. Just like, and the thing is that now those birds know that's there. Like, birds are really good for like coming back every year to stuff like that. They will absolutely come back. It's wonderful. It's a great thought. But like, I kind of feel sad for the farmers, but also I there's something beautiful about the kind of people who would schedule to go to a pick your own event. Like, as opposed to what normal people do for pick your own, which is when basically it's a really sunny day and every other option has been discounted, and you go, right, we'll go to the pick your own farm and you can just eat fruit and then throw up on the way home.
You think the farmers are going to do their normal like farmer bullshit? Like, when they crucify moles?
Oh yeah.
What are they going to do to the birds? It's get real nasty with it.
They're just going to try like increasingly weird like scarecrows, but I quite like the idea of increasingly weird scarecrows because they're clearly probably using the ones that do big bangs that scare them off.
Oh god.
But it's like, yeah, seriously, it's growing up in like farming village. It's just every so often you'll hear a huge bang and you'll think nothing of it. Like, it's genuinely like a terrorist attack could happen in a tiny village and everyone would be like, oh, that's gone off early. Oh, that scarecrow. Oh, the scarecrow in Hugh Kneebone's field has gone off a little bit early. Like, because it's just so normal. But
we know that one's not real. So we are left with no. So that one is real. So that's not. We can like discount that from our finding fake one.
Yeah.
So we have Davis District pulls Bible from elementaries, junior high due to vulgarity or violence, which is true. I was in like as a concept. And Man 21 refused on EasyJet flight after changing name to Ryanair.
I really want that one to be true.
I want it to be true, but I fear it may not be. But also, the one...
Sorry, I almost want to change my name to Ryanair just to do that.
Yeah, see how it goes. I wonder whether it's the false one is the Bible one, but not because it didn't happen just because it didn't happen in the right. It's a different county or something.
Johnny,
I wonder if Jonny being sneaky.
what do you think, ISHI?
I like the way you're thinking, Mabel. That it's a bit of a red herring.
Because it wouldn't surprise me if a county in America did do that to make a point, like in a more liberal county, like, or a county in like Florida that's been slammed with these laws is now like, well, that means the Bible's out, doesn't it? You know, so it wouldn't surprise me if someone did do that. But I wonder whether it's just a different place. And also, I want that Ryanair one to be true so badly.
I don't know. It's just got Johnny written all over it.
I know. Johnny, did you do this? Is that actually what?
I am not a man or 21.
I know. Maybe that's the bit that's a lie.
Yeah, I think if the Bible is revered anywhere, it's got to be in America, doesn't it? That's the other thing. That highly unlikely for somewhere in America to ban it. It's
like I say though, I reckon it might be a school district making a point.
Right.
So
yeah.
God, this is tough.
It is tough. I'd be inclined to go with the Bible one being the false one out.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd be inclined to go with that one.
And Mabel, which one do you think is fake?
I'd go for the Bible one, but only on the basis that it happened somewhere, that it didn't happen in Davis County.
Oh, I can't see the EasyJet one being true.
I can't see it happening either. I want it so badly. I'm hoping that I can just will it. I can just will it into existence.
I want it to be true. I'm going to change my name.
Imagine if we had that power. Imagine if we had that power that whichever one you vote for is just
it's automatically
taken
true.
out of the timeline. Yeah.
Ooh, so I'm in a tricky one because I disagree with my team, which
okay.
So I need to decide
I'm happy to flip
democracy or
I'm happy to flip
terror, which seems to be
I'm happy to flip, but because I don't mind. I think either of them could potentially be the untrue one.
Yeah, I'm happy to go with your decision, Katie.
Yeah, you're the experienced one, so.
Beat captain, so happy to go with that.
People just have silly names in real life, and I don't think you can be mean to them for it. I work in retail. I take emails all the time, and I've never batted an eyelid to anything.
I've batted an eyelid to one name. One name I've had while teaching, and that was that there was a 5-year-old boy called Dragos.
That's sick as hell. I'm
That's
sorry.
really cool.
I know, but it did genuinely make me go, I'm sorry, what? and the sheer amount of kids with double-barreled names, like double-barreled first names, and it just makes me think that it's like a crew of tiny country singers.
Cool. So
they just invented feminism in the 90s, and now none of their mums want to give up their names. Scourge, I'm telling you. Right, we must make a decision because we're already running behind time.
All right, Ryanair is false, so I guess then.
I do agree with that, ISHI. What do you think?
I'm happy to go with the team. I think that. I really want the Ryanair.
The problem with starting the show on this game is that you can very easily split a team before the show's even really started.
Look, I'll go with the majority. If you want Ryanair as the fake one, I'll go with that.
Yeah.
I think Ryanair is the fake one. I don't think you're allowed to refuse people entry because they've got unfortunate names.
Yeah.
So you're going for Ryanair as the fake one?
I feel like it's a protected characteristic somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, also, sorry, the pick your own thing made me hungry for strawberries.
Help yourself.
We're matching.
Strawberry team. You are correct. That is the fake one. Yes, Davis District in Utah has pulled the Bible from elementary schools due to the high levels of vulgarity and violence in it. Basically, the Bible is just the Game of Thrones of its time, and it is lewd, violent, and steals most of its ideas from already existing properties. And And a pick your own fruit event was called off as birds ate all the fruit. I mean, it was called a pick your own event. I'd like to see that prosecution stand up in court. But no, a man hasn't been refused on an EasyJet flight after changing his name to Ryanair. He was refused entry onto a flight because it was EasyJet and the flight was twice overbooked. So 3 points to Katie's team there. Moving over to Kirstie's team, your 3 headlines are: Andrew Lloyd Webber sends cease and desist to independent seller of cat sex toys.
Definitely. He obviously did that.
Bus 666 no longer goes to hell, Poland, after protest from Christian conservatives.
Oh, boo.
And crocodile found to have made herself pregnant.
Okay.
I need crocodile found to have made herself pregnant to be true.
That's definitely true.
Because
I
that's
remember
Jurassic Park.
I remember seeing this news story and everyone was like, oh, it's like all the comments and the article was like, this is a miracle, this never happens. I'm like, no, lizards do this all the fucking time.
Yeah,
I've known this for 20 years.
Genesis.
Right? Like it's really common. I don't know why it's news. So that definitely happened because I remember being annoyed that it was in the news cycle. And that's the emotion I identify with and remember the most. If something pissed me off, I'm most likely to hold on to it like a little like festering hairball of annoyedness. And that's how I feel about that crocodile. That isn't a news story because all crocodiles can do that.
Kirstie's just running through the streets going, it's basic science!
Yeah, like we fucking knew this could happen. It's not news just because you're a dipshit.
Kirstie, have we considered that this is an all you zombies? Yeah, I'm really showing I'm not a nerd side here. Is this an all you zombies like style? This crocodile went back in time, had a sex change, and then impregnated itself, like seduced itself as a handsome boy crocodile, and then impregnated herself, and then she turned out to be the child.
Well, now we know Ella's next book.
That would be
that book already exists. It's called All You Lovely Zombies, or All You Zombies, and it's terrible. Don't read it.
Now you just need to do it with crocodiles.
That would be more appropriate to be news, mainly because of the time travel element, more than anything else. It like
the fact
crocodile
that it was invented by crocodile.
Crocodile made herself pregnant. Okay,
That'll be
I
a
knew they
last
could
month's
do
episode.
that.
Crocodile travels through time.
Crocodile invents time travel. I'm like, fuck yeah, tell me that story. Apart from that one which I'm 100% sure about, the other two could go either way. Do either of you have thoughts, Tom and Ella?
I feel like Andrew Lloyd Webber. Oh, sorry, Tom, you go.
I was going to say, so I had 2 immediate thoughts, which is firstly, crocodile OnlyFans must be absolutely lit. My
Only
other
fangs.
one,
Only fangs.
Oh, very good. My other one is, that whole, how do you know the difference between a crocodile and an alligator? Well, an alligator will see you later, and a crocodile will invent time travel.
A crocodile will see you earlier.
I believe Andrew Lloyd Webber was in the news sometime recently with just a garbage take, and I don't remember what about.
It's Andrew Lloyd Webber. He's a garbage human, and he's going to sue me for saying that. Because I'm sure he's got like an alert set up on his name because he is a prick and he hates poor people and he sends cease and desist letters even though he's not done an original thing in his whole fucking life. So like I haven't seen this story, but I believe it.
Yeah.
Because there are 2 elements to this story, and one is that Andrew Lloyd Webber is like trigger happy with the lawsuit, which fact, no questions there. The other thing about this story is that there's a market for cat sex toys, and like fact, like I know what you people are like.
What do you mean, you people?
The internet people.
You internet people.
So, like, and like, I like what I'm saying is I believe it. I've not seen it, but I believe it.
it makes you wonder who the real Phantom of the Opera is. Oh yeah, I can do jokes, mate.
The 666 bus.
I feel like
on,
that's
Ella.
one of those things that, like, this has. If this is real, if there is a 666 bus going to hell, there is no way that local communities are not like, fuck yeah.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. It says hell in Poland, so I feel like the local Polish community are like, fuck yeah. And then the Christian conservatives are probably from somewhere else, like America, perhaps.
And then they wouldn't buckle.
And then, yeah. So maybe it was protested against, and then Poland was like, fuck off, you don't get to tell me what to do. Which, I feel like we're going back to the comment before, I would prefer to be true. So I think I would lean towards that one as the fake one, because I want the Christian conservatives to have lost that battle had it existed for real.
Just to be clear, there's two fake ones though.
No,
there's one fake
There's
one.
one fake one.
One fake one.
It doesn't matter how many times we do this show, someone always gets confused. I don't know how to make it clearer.
Well, Jonny, next time we do this, across the top of the screen, there should just be like a scrolling banner saying there is one fake one.
Then I think Bus 666 is fake.
That's what I'm leaning towards as well. Because I feel like there was a Bus 666 that goes to Hell Poland, and I've heard of it, but I think it's more like that's a meme rather than a news story. And I've seen the meme of like metalheads going there for the photos.
Yeah.
But I don't know how like aggressive the Christian conservatives in Poland are. I certainly haven't heard many stories from Poland.
Poland does have a teensy tiny little fascist party.
I mean, who doesn't have a teeny tiny fascist party in this day and age?
Yeah, get with the
If it's
program.
teeny tiny, you're doing better than most countries.
I've got to let the cat out.
While Ella's letting the cat out, Tom, do you have any thoughts? Because we're both leaning towards
Ella's
666,
cat is off to sign for their Amazon delivery of their sex toys before Andrew. No, I'm with the group. I think that the fake news is the Bus 666 one, purely based off of your convincing.
Oh, no. Please use your own critical thinking skills. Do not depend on me.
Use your
all
own
right,
cricket thinking skills.
Then I'll go with the answer of the one I think is fake is the Bus 666 no longer goes to Hell Poland.
I was fully expected you to say the crocodile one after we ruled that one out instantly.
But no, I believe that a crocodile made themselves pregnant because they're pretty cool like that, aren't they? And Andrew Lloyd Webber, as much as I like his music, right? So I consider myself like quite the creative artist, right? And a couple of years ago, someone said to me, "Oh, what's your favourite?" You sometimes get asked, "Oh, like if you're into like bands or theatre or whatever or art," you get told, "Okay, so who's your favourite artist or who's the person you've gone to see the most?" And I got asked, "Who's the person whose theatre stuff you've seen the most?" And I worked it out, and I was like, "I've seen Joseph in the Technical Dreamcoat like 6 times now." So as much as I'm doing a show called the Stand Up Horror Show, and I'm like, "Ooh, aren't I an artist?" I'm also behind the scenes like, "Any dream will do, any dream."
I've seen the School of Rock musical like 5 times, and every single time I go, I really resent how like catchy all the songs are, and like not just the ones that are in the film. There's obviously new ones, and I have a T-shirt that says "Stick it to the man," but like Andrew Lloyd Webber is straight up the man we need to stick it to. He's like an unelected lord who only shows up to vote against like helping the poor, and insist on having his like £300 a day stipend for showing up. and like have that t-shirt, and I feel like a bit of a hypocrite when I wear it because I appreciate the message, but in purchasing it I actually went against the message by putting money into that cunt's pockets. Probably not a lot for one t-shirt, but like 5 theatre tickets probably fit it.
I feel you. I had a Tim Burton phase, so
oh, we all did.
We were on a Tim Burton
Yeah.
phase. So you're thinking the
we
bus
were all
was the fake
socially
one.
awkward in high school.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
What?
yes.
So
Just
I
in
like-
high school.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that we've got a unanimous answer, but I feel like we're going to look like massive knobs if we end up being wrong.
Is this going to be one of those, like, that feels like the one that's going to be fake? And then, haha, Andrew Lloyd Webber actually sent a cease and desist to independent sellers of Phantom of the Opera sex
Yeah.
toys.
Joseph
To be fair,
Joseph in the technical dildo.
I mean, if they were
White
trying to
and
do
cream and white and white.
Oh.
And sticky.
Oh,
if they to be fair, I would actually be on his side
the Phantom
if it
of the
was a
Opera.
School of Rock sex toy because like the cast is mostly children.
Yeah.
Like that's the one thing I'd actually be like, okay, maybe
Okay,
Andrew Webber suing people is in the right.
Andrew Lloyd, the phantom vibrator goes.
But it's even better because in the sequel, the vibrator has a gun.
Okay.
Well, sorry, there's a bullet involved in some way.
Hey.
Right.
Okay, but
Bus.
wait, but
Oh,
no, but
you changed your
maybe Johnny is being really clever here and knew that Kirsty would immediately pick up on the crocodile thing because it's not a crocodile. What if it's not a crocodile?
I'm gonna need to hurry you for an
Do
answer
this to
either
me now,
way.
Ella. We had a unanimous answer and we like logicked our way out of it.
maybe Johnny's got their eyes on you and is trying to get you specifically.
I mean, it definitely, like, that absolutely makes more sense than, like, Johnny's throwing us a bone because they normally do that all the time. And giving us one we'd recognise.
I'm going to change my vote. I don't think the crocodile one's real. I think it's been faffed with.
Oh.
I'm gonna stick with Bus 666.
Go on, Kirsty, it's on you.
I feel like
I
don't think the crocodile one is fake. I don't think Johnny's that bad.
Fiendish.
Not big Johnny.
At the end of the day, you're our captain, and I will defer to you. Yeah, I'm putting it all on your shoulders now, Kirsty. It's your fault if we get it wrong now.
Why? I wish we'd locked in our answer like 15 minutes ago. When we had
Let's just
one.
pretend the rest of that conversation never happened. So, you very quickly decided the bus was the fake one, is that right?
I think I would like it to be the bus one, but again, because I want it to be the bus one. Like, I kind of feel like if I don't know, I'm gonna live in hope until you shoot me down. Like, I'm gonna hope the bus one is true, is the fake one, so that in one news story, like, the ridiculous religious conservatives lost or didn't exist, which is better than most stories about Christian conservatives.
Anything.
Yeah.
So that's why it's a very emotional, not logical reason, but that is why I still would like to lean towards the bus,
So,
if that's okay with you.
you're going for the bus.
We're going for the
Think so.
bus.
I'm afraid you are incorrect, but Ella was also incorrect. The Andrew Lloyd Webber one was the fake one. So you were all equally wrong.
So who did Andrew Lloyd Webber actually sue?
So, I'll get to that in a minute. So yes, a crocodile has been found to make herself pregnant. See, we don't even need God anymore. Get rid of the Bibles. Bus route 666 was diverted so it no longer goes to hell in Poland due to protest from Christian conservatives. To placate them, the bus route is changing its number to 1312 and is now not a bus with a set destination, but it is instead a cab. But no.
Hey.
But no, Andrew Lloyd Webber has not sent any cease and desist to anyone this month, as he spent most of his time this month moaning that political correctness means that he can't write any more stories in case he's accused of cultural appropriation.
That's what I saw him in the news
like,
for.
I don't know what to tell you, mate. Maybe try writing your own story instead of nicking everyone else's.
Yeah.
That's not political correctness. That's you being a shit writer. So, at the end of that round, Katie's team are on 3 points and Kirstie's team have none. Our next round...
You sounded so happy about that, Johnny. You're supposed to be impartial, you prick.
I was honestly, I was just happy that the round was over, given at this point in the show we're meant to be in our first break and we've not even got to round 2 yet. Our next round is trending. This round, our comics and creatives will be flexing their topical. There we shut up. Brain muscles in a lewd display of creative juices. What the fuck am I talking about? Each act is going to be talking briefly about a topical issue in the news in the past month. Points are going to go to the funniest, and we're going to start with Mabel, who is going to talk about education. So bear with me. Okay, take it away, Mabel.
So, I've got to say, I'm really glad to actually be using my teaching degree at some point. Now, because at the moment I work in supply, so ordinarily I'm just like a pen delivery system. Although that isn't fair to say, I do work in primary too, so I'm also occasionally a collector of various diseases and injuries. Honestly, if you've not been punched directly in the uterus by a small child who's just so happy to see you and wants a hug, you have not really experienced the concept of mixed messages. I'm actually qualified to teach teenagers in English and history. So when I'm doing my proper job, I get 2 types of student: kids who don't want to be there and neurodivergent queers, and there is no middle ground whatsoever. Incidentally, if you liked English in high school, I hope your Pride Month is going really well. But currently, this is sort of brings me on to why education is currently trending in the news. There have been plans in the UK to force teachers to out trans kids' parents, regardless of whether they're supportive or it could be dangerous, and to limit or altogether halt social transition in schools. This has been caused by pressure from groups, anti-trans groups, who fear that schools and teachers are transing children. And honestly, if we had that much influence on the children in our care, we wouldn't be getting them to change gender. We would be getting them to do their fucking homework. I can barely get the kids I teach to read a poem. Facilitating an existential, social, and physical transition is beyond my capabilities. They do not teach you how to do that in teacher training. If any student were genuinely being indoctrinated in schools, if this was actually happening, I would not have run out of biros. And that's basically it. I'm just angry that I don't have any biros anymore.
Oh, amazing! I'm actually really glad you brought that up, because I was trying to write a joke in the first section to reference that story, not because I wanted to, but because I need to draw people's attention to it, but I couldn't think of any way that didn't just make me cry. So I'm very happy that you managed to find a way. And yeah, that is a thing that's happening.
I'm glad I managed to find a way that didn't make you cry.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you. Bonus points for not making me cry.
Yay!
Johnny, do we all get bonus points for not making you cry
fuck
yet?
it, yeah, everyone. If none of you make me, if none of you make me cry by the end, you will all get a bonus point, and therefore no one of you will get a bonus point. So that's
what
where
if
we're at.
we make you cry by, like, with tears of joy because we show you so much love?
Ah. All right, yeah. Fuck it.
The hands are creepy.
Points for no crying.
Tell you what, this can be the tiebreaker. Like, the amount of times you make me cry out of joy minus the amount of times you make me cry out of sadness.
New scoring system.
Fuck it. Yeah, it's not the. I have revised the scoring system, but not that it matters. Nobody gives a shit about the scoring.
Shit, Ella, how sad are your books? Like, are you one of those literary authors who's miserable?
Oh,
until the
yes.
end? Like,
Hold on, let me check something.
It's fine. I won't read any of them during the show, so you're fine. Right, thanks, Mabel. Next, we've got Tom, who's going to be talking about the Titanic. So, Tom, take it away.
Okay, well, the first thing is, so I mentioned to Johnny, I'm assuming that the Titanic is gone. And Johnny was like, no, you're the first person to ask for the Titanic. So to the other people doing this show, you snooze, you lose. But what I decided to do for this was, so I visited the Titanic Museum, and I've got this little video, so I thought I would show the video on the stream as like a nice little tribute to the Titanic, and actually I think you'll find that it's really nice, and I don't mention the elephant in the room because I'm above that. Right. So, Jonny, when you're ready.
Yep, sure.
I'm here to see the Titanic. My favourite type of museum. Not to do with water, more to do with the fact it's free. I'm here to look at the Titanic and Lusitania. Let's see if Lusitania is interested enough to get its own video. I'm not hopeful.
You are not authorised to use this floor.
I don't know if that's because I'm just not authorised, or because they've realised I'm from Manchester and they don't want me to see too much of Liverpool. This is, like, it's all impressive and that, but like, I can't help but look at this and think, I bet that was a right bugger to wear when you needed a piss. You'd have to take the whole thing off. When you needed a shit, you'd have had to take the whole thing off. World's oldest game of operation. If you like touch the side, his nose turns red. This bit here is definitely Titanic related, can confirm, definitely Titanic related. Not the Titanic though, so I'm not bothered. Oh, we've just entered the Titanic bit. This is the bit that I'm excited for. Look at that, look at that. Titanic and Liverpool. Does it get more exciting? We'll find out. Well, here it is. This is the exciting bit. This is exciting. It says that the Titanic was a Liverpool ship, which presumably means it was bothered about the football results for some reason. And also really hated Manchester because of the opening of the ship canal. So it looks like White Star Line was a Liverpool company. And I bet you, if you like White Star Line, you can't like whatever Everton's version of a ship company was. See that? I'm doing my best impression of Jack right now. From the Titanic. What do you mean who's Jack? From the Titanic? Leonardo DiCaprio. Look at this. Oh, I'll never let you go. I'll never let you go, Rose. And then she lets him go. Annoying. Titanic's a lot smaller than I thought it would be. I imagine Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet are also much smaller than you'd imagine. It took 2 hours and 40 minutes for the Titanic to sink, and a little fact about that is that's not enough time to watch Avengers Endgame from start to finish. If you were on the Titanic, you'd have had to choose which one you wanted to see the end of. At least the life jackets make you look like you've got abs. Look at that. Proof that my hair looks like his. Where's my Oscar? So this bit here, they're like playing the songs that got played as the Titanic was going down. Could have played something with a bit of tune in it. It had a sister ship who was presumably a bit jealous over all the attention that Titanic got. So ships are sometimes painted like this as camouflage, and to let their friends know whether or not they're down for a game of chess. Here it is, the Lusitania. Let's see if there's enough stuff here to warrant its own video. The ship is actually sponsored by Converse shoes. This here is the jacket of a person who is in the Navy but also collects stamps. World's biggest hairdryer. So, can confirm, not enough about the Lusitania to warrant its own video, not without me reading, and I am not going to be reading, and I can't be bothered reading. Not today, words. It is actually really important boat. Not that we'll be finding out today.
Right, Tom, you're back on.
So fabulous. Okay. Yeah, what I thought I'd do, because I'm doing team captaining for the first time in September, so I thought I'd kind of be like Blizzard's like roving reporter, and that's kind of my like attempt to kind of audition for that. But yeah. The Titanic has been
we're getting some echo
in the
from
news
someone.
a fair bit, and I think, you know, I mean, I've not been reading what's been in the news, but I think the media's probably a bit late on making that story, because it happened ages ago, that. And I think as a working class artist, I think I did a good job of kind of honouring the memory of the people who went on the Titanic, because it is essentially a sad thing. But who knows what I would have done if I was a billionaire and had the ability to build my own submersible.
Thanks very much, Tom. Beautiful, loved it. The Converse shoes bit, I'd be crying. That was brilliant, but in a good way. So a bonus point there.
Thank you.
Right, okay. Thanks, Tom. We're going to have Katie next, who's going to be talking about dinosaurs. Take it away.
Hi. So I think it's very important to know about queer history. So I have been learning a lot about dinosaurs, because we have a lot in common. The queer people and dinosaurs, you know, people have in their heads like a very scary idea of what they think we are, when the truth has far more feathers and better. I mean, I just think the LGBT community and dinosaurs, we've got a lot in common. You know, most of our best movies are from the 90s. LGBTQ people and dinosaurs have got a lot in common. Some Christians deny our existence. LGBT people and dinosaurs have got a lot in common. Sometimes we change sex. You know, we both like Laura Dern. The thing about both queer history and dinosaurs is that all the best ones died before their time. You know, it's like the queer thing about queer history and dinosaurs is that most of them also lived before poppers, which made sex hard for both of them. You know, about dinosaurs and queer history is the fingering was objectively worse. Yeah, the thing about queer history and dinosaurs is that both lactose intolerant. Scientifically true that we both like avocados, buns, and blue tap. So, but the reason why I picked dinosaurs, other than the fact that I've been going through James Gurney's Dinotopia books and having a whale of a time, and it's all I can think about now because I'm 5. The other thing is in America at the start of Pride Month, some right-wingers decided that it was going to be Dinosaur Month, and they were going to drown out all of the Pride stuff on Twitter by flooding it with dinosaurs, which isn't bad because it went on my timeline with like the stuff Elon Musk was pushing and the stuff which everyone else was pushing was just equal quantities of queer stuff and dinosaurs, which isn't an ideal combination, but I'm not mad at it, you know. It's like someone trying to ruin your plate of curly fries with potato wedges. You're just like, sure. I'm happy they're here. It's kind of a bonus, you know. It's like fish fingers and custard. It's like you just wouldn't necessarily have ordered it, but in fact, it's like cucumbers and ketchup. David Bowie and Queen, like it was kind of a lot in one place, but I'm happy about, it's like Mads Mikkelsen in that one Rihanna video. Like I wasn't expecting to see him there, but I'm excited. It's like Amanda Palmer marrying Neil Gaiman. Like, who thought that would have happened? Like Keir Starmer. And that's dinosaurs, baby.
Thank you so much for that delightful lecture on dinosaurs, Katie. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Okay, well, next we're going to have Ella, who's going to be talking about cinema. So take it away, Ella.
All right, so a couple of months ago, I went to the movie theater again. I don't know if you remember those. These days, visiting one of those is a bit like visiting an ancient ruin of a long-lost civilization before the apocalypse. It's really quiet. People are still hesitant to go. There's this cool breeze that permeates the place, just slightly too cold, a little bit eerie. The souvenirs are very expensive, and you have to finish the water temple before you can go to the loo. But I went to go see James Cameron's Avatar: Way of Water. I don't know if you've seen it. It is, without a doubt, without any exaggeration, one of the movies of all time. Out of all the movies I've ever seen, this was one of them. But I think my experience was a little marred, a little bit ruined by two facts. The first is that I went to go see it on a date. And frankly, if you take a date to the movies, you're setting yourself up for a kind of Sophie's Choice situation. Because if the movie's bad, you've just organized a bad date. But if the movie's good, you're now playing a game of who deserves my attention more, except that James Cameron isn't actually in the room with you to get mad at you for rejecting him. Which gets me to my second point, that there is no world in which Avatar: The Way of Water could grab my attention more than a date, unless they did something really weird to me while I was watching it. And I went to go see it in 4D.
Oh, God.
Now, normally we only see movies in 2 dimensions, and 3D means that you get these little glasses on top of your glasses if you wear glasses. That makes things pop out of the screen. 4D means that the theater has been converted into a full immersive experience, which is all very good and well and fun until you remember that Avatar is the movie in question. It takes place on the ocean. And the seats are on hydraulics, and they move and shake so hard. My date, who is a good head shorter than me and had trouble reaching the leg rests, was constantly tossed out of the seat by the violent rocking back and forth. But even worse is the fact that there were sprinklers who are there to immerse you in a movie that's all liquid. The overall experience was a little bit like trying to sit on top of the world's angriest bear while being waterboarded. And frankly, at this point, I think James Cameron owes me a personal apology. There's nothing quite like trying to watch a movie with glasses on my glasses that are constantly being shaken off, clinging to my chair for dear life. The person next to me is being jostled like a hamster in a tumble dryer, while the film that I'm here to see is actively pissing in my face, because that is third date material.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, I've never seen a 4D film, and now I don't think I want to. I didn't want to anyway, but yeah.
I think everybody should once in their lives to walk out of there in that like disheveled, what the fuck was that?
The first film I saw advertised in 4D was Spy Kids 4D, which was weird because the third Spy Kids film was in 3D, so I was really excited to see what the sequel to that was going to be. What are they going to do after an immersive experience? Are they just going to make you a Spy Kid? This sounds amazing.
I think the next one is just going to be like a spy movie, and at the end you get shot.
The dream. Right, moving on. We're going to have ISHI Khan now, who's going to talk about Brexit and immigration. Take it away, ISHI.
For every round, I thought I'm going to do something different. Okay, so my name is ISHI. In the East African language, it means, of Swahili, sorry, it means remain. And that was the most sensible information I had on which way to vote in the EU referendum. I'm a migrant, which means that I'm the reason that people like Priti Patel and Suella Braverman actually have a job. When it was in the run-up to the EU referendum, I'm thankful to the EU referendum because up until that point, I didn't really realise I had this extra label of a migrant. So thank you. And I went off to join a meditation class, and I would go to this meditation class every week, and there would be leave signs outside, and I could just see these leave signs singing and dancing at me. Why don't you go walk out the door? And started to take it. I was like, I'm trying so hard. What am I doing wrong? Oh, so I turn up at the meditation class, and the teacher says to everybody, she goes, right then. So it's voting time, and you know that we're all going to be voting leave, yes? Because you know what? France is going to accept them, and within 2 years, they're going to be allowed citizenship status, and then they'll all come over here, and you know, we're only a small island, we can't possibly take any more, we've already started sinking. At which point I'm like, oh my gosh, if the UK can sink, then surely it's got sails and it can move to warmer climates as well, right? So as she's going round saying to the group, oh gosh, so you voting leave, you voting leave, you voting leave, I kept very quiet. And as I left the class, that's when I did exactly what those signs told me. And I left the meditation class, that's right. So I'm actually grateful for the e-referendum for helping me realise I'm a migrant, for helping me find a meditation class and then leaving it so quickly so I can learn to meditate on my own.
Fab, thanks very much, ISHI. Brilliant. Okay, we've got one more. KIRSTIE is going to be talking to us about reality TV. Take it away, KIRSTIE.
I feel like you've set yourself up for disappointment for leaving me until last, babes. So, I mean, welcome to another lecture of everything is bad because of capitalism. You fucking knew that was what it was going to be when you booked me for the show. So I am talking about reality TV. But, I mean, it's not going to be spoilers for the Queer Ultimatum, which I know you're all watching because I don't really watch much reality TV. But I feel like a genre of reality TV that doesn't get criticised as much as it deserves is British daytime reality TV. So things like Homes Under the Hammer, Find It, Fix It, Flog It. These are all things that my dad is now retired, so he watches. And when I visit his house, they are on. Like, what we do during the day is, like, I sit with my work laptop open, pretending to work, and he has a nap in front of daytime TV. And the daytime TV that's on is this sort of shit. And I feel like all of it is designed to just make the working class feel bad. Because if you are unemployed or if you are doing shift work, you're the most likely person to be home during the day watching this shit. And it is just, look at these people who can afford a big fancy house. And, like, you know, it's like, look at these people who can, like, take some tat out of the bin, fix it up, and then flog it to someone dumb enough to pay $2,000 for, like, your old suitcase with some paint on it. And the reason it makes you feel bad because you're like, oh, it perpetuates the myth that, like, you've just got to go out and seize opportunity, when actually I don't run in the circles with arseholes who will spend that money on a bit of old shit. If I did, I wouldn't be as broke as I am. I would just be flogging you shit I find in the bin. That would be my job. But I have this one particular episode of this subgenre of reality TV that has stayed with me in a way that I think I enjoyed more than I usually enjoy this show, because I don't remember which one, but it was one of those cops with cameras shows, because my dad really likes, like, the cops with cameras and the border patrol shows, and I hate them so much because they are just like class traitors having power trips. That's the whole show. But this one in particular, like, so, right, when you get American cop shows, there's like high speed car chases and there's like violence, and I don't agree with it, but it does make for like compelling television. I will give it that. The British one is just some like overweight middle-aged man awkwardly asking someone why their car smells like weed and then letting them go. That's all it is. Except for this one episode where they went to like a routine check for this car that was parked somewhere it shouldn't have been, and they opened it up and it was like full of cocaine, and these police officers were well out of their depth. They used to like hassling brown teenagers for like hanging out in the street because the local community centre got shut down before they were born. So they didn't know what to do about this car full of cocaine, and they were like, you know, they did some investigating. They hunted down the person who owned the car, and then he did a runner, and then they had to talk to like his friends and his partner to find out what was going on. And then in the end they like ended up like actually busting these people for having this cocaine. And this cop, this like older cop, like looks like he was close to retirement, was going, this is the kind of thing I dreamt about when I wanted to become a police officer, like doing this kind of stuff, like these dramatic busts. And like so far he's mostly just asked some people if they know where like Larry is, and he was and he's saying this was his dream come true. And then literally the next scene was the voiceover saying that they didn't have enough evidence to convict anyone and everyone got off scot-free. Sir, you are a police officer. You're already wasting your life. Here is the evidence. Like, stop now. And that has stayed with me. And yeah, those shows normally I'm like, I hate everyone in this show because they're all cops. And that one I was like, there's some satisfaction there. Quite enjoyed that. That's my take on reality TV.
Amazing, I really enjoyed that.
I always appreciate your rants, Kirsty.
Well,
I'm glad someone does.
You hate capitalism so much.
Oh, I do. I do.
Beautiful.
And we love it.
I'm looking forward to the inevitable extra rant we're going to get for cancelled in a little bit.
Yay! I've been sitting on my cancelled for the better part of 2 months, Johnny.
I'm excited. Well, I'm sorry we didn't have a show last month. So we're going to move on to that soon. But first of all, points. This is a really tough one, but I'm going to give the points to Mabel for that one. But I'm also going to give some bonus points to Tom just for the sheer amount of effort that went into that Titanic one. I really enjoyed that as well.
Yeah, that's why.
So that is 5 points to Katie's team and 1 point to Kirstie's team. So at the end of that round, Katie's team won 8 points, Kirstie's team won 1 point. We are going to have a short, and I mean, I forgot to transition to my face, so we're just looking at Kirstie that entire time. Hello. I'm just gonna have a short break because we are overrunning. But this is just as good a time as any to remind you all that we need money, and if you have money, you should give some of us that money. So we. I have completely lost my part of the script. Where are we? So we need more than we have very little money at the minute, and we need more than very little money to keep providing this what I'm tenuously going to describe as content with you every month. So if you'd like to donate some money to be split between the acts that you could see tonight, you can do so via PayPal and here on Twitch. You can also subscribe to our Patreon if you'd like early access to live show tickets and discounts on our Big Cartel merch shop, which admittedly hasn't been updated in a while, but we do still have some merch. So if you do want some, that is an option. I'll put the links in the chat now so you know where to do that, and obviously there's the usual subscribing and cheering on Twitch as well. We appreciate that. I don't currently have alerts set up in this stream, in this collection of scenes. I should really get them added again, but yeah, I will appreciate them nonetheless, and I will thank you for them, so thank you very much. And links, cool. So let's have a look at what's been going on in the chat while some of us go for a wee. Iconic anti-capitalism is iconic. Yeah, it is. I mean, in an ideal world, we just wouldn't have capitalism, so it wouldn't need to be. But yeah, this is the only correct answer. Love a lecture where I know the answer. Brilliant. Kitty. Yeah, there's going to be a few of them throughout the show, I'm sure. Yeah, is it a good time for Pets Corner? Has anyone got any pets that they would like to share? If they are in.
She
nearby.
is there.
Hey, there she is. I'm not sure if that was the kitty that was being referred to, but there we are. Lamel gets squirted on. I'm going to assume that was in Ella's bit.
I know that that someone has asked me for pens in Spanish.
Okay. As in they've asked you for pens in Spanish, or they want Spanish pens?
Oh, probably both.
T-Rex stands by itself. I've already forgot. Oh, yeah.
Right.
Transosaurus Biceratops, Quirosiraptor. I missed all this. This is beautiful. T-Rex stands by itself. Yes, absolutely. Thanks for the pride flag. Also, I know there were a few hydrates that had been redeemed. I have finished my water. I'm going to get some more in a moment. Some more people are back, but I do appreciate you remind me to do that because I do forget, and I have no windows open. I've put my fan on. I hope that it's not coming too loudly through my mic. Are you sure they weren't trying to introduce Nuki Brown to America? What's this about? Oh, the Converse one. Yeah, good. Well, it's been that long since I've seen Newcastle Brown Ale. I forgot what the logo was. Cool. Teasel. Is it Teasel or Tessel? Mabel's not here, so I'm going to ask that when I get back. This bit is me catching up with the group chat. Lovely stuff. I need to go for a wee, but currently there's only one other person, so I'm going to wait until some other people are back. How are you doing, Katie?
Oh, yeah. Having a little sip.
That's fine. Yeah, you are allowed to do that. That's not a problem.
Yeah, how are you doing?
Yeah, pretty good. Hi, Kirsty.
I'm back. My cup of tea is ready. You can go for a wee if you want.
Thanks very much.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for a wee.
I'll talk to Katie. How you doing, Katie?
I'm alright. Quite sleepy. I had to, I get up at 6 a.m. to do some graphic design work before work, and then got in at 6:45, and then was on here bang on for 7. So it's a long day.
You are so dedicated, so productive. Couldn't be me.
I found a strawberry
and work as well, because that's just insane.
It is. I'm tired. It's the heat. It's not. It's the capitalism.
Oh, my new flat. I've been complaining all winter because I moved in October, and I was like, this flat is so dark. No wonder I'm depressed. It is cold. My energy bills are through the roof. Summer, no direct sunlight. Hello, I'm just able to exist in a nice and normal state. So
yeah. And then when I was in a basement flat, when I was in a basement flat, it was really cool. And like, this was 2021. I moved into that flat. And so it was still kind of like the arse end of the lockdown. There were still a lot of things, like a lot of people not going out, a lot of things happening over Zoom. And all summer when people were complaining about the heat, I was like, I don't get any sunlight in this flat. I'm really comfortable. And then I go out and it's like someone's hit you in the face with a pillow that's on fire when you walk out into the heat from a nice, cool place.
I don't know how to dress anymore because it's nice in my house. It's hideous outside. And I'm still working in retail where they're like melting the planet and having it at 5 degrees. So I wear a jumper during the day because they keep the shop so cold with how much like aircon they've got on.
Yeah. Is that to like coax people in to buy things?
I don't know.
Is that like come in out of the warm and into the nice cool shop, and while you're here, maybe buy a thing?
I think that might genuinely be a part of it.
Yeah, a little refuge. You don't get that much sunlight in there as well. I think that was probably one of the main reasons I was depressed over Christmas. Was that I would
no sunlight whatsoever.
Work inside and then go home in the dark again. And I'm sad. I'm working retail in Christmas with no sunlight for a month.
Yeah, that sounds awful.
Yeah. I can't wait to not work in retail this Christmas. I'm so excited.
I'm excited for you, yeah.
I'm gonna get this right. I'm gonna have Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and Boxing Day with my family.
I know. It's fucking superb.
I know, for the first time in literally about 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
Some of that was lockdown based, but
Yeah.
and so
Katie Mitchell just called lockdown based. You heard it here first.
I've got a real job now, not for long, but like now I could totally go for some furlough because I wasn't eligible for furlough during lockdown.
Oh yeah,
so my job. Like
I loved furlough. Like
I really want some furlough right now. Are you kidding me?
Come on, Rishi, give us some furlough.
I get most of my money and all of the free time, and like not necessarily a good thing, but like nothing to spend my money on because I couldn't go out.
Yeah.
Fucking win. Apart from like the crippling loneliness, but like
otherwise, yeah, still preferable in many ways.
I would like what I would like is to have lockdown again without the lockdown, like have all of the time and none of the expenses, but things and company.
Yeah.
You are so eloquent.
Basically, we just want proper socialism and universal basic income.
Yes.
Is what we want. The things that really the pandemic should have realised. Oh shit, we can just do this, but no. Instead they were like, oh no.
Yeah.
Instead we.
And then we just rolled it all
Instead
back.
we're just gonna go even harder into.
I remember being
like
so
might
anxious.
Be bad. The economy's still bad now. Like.
I remember being so anxious that we weren't going to learn anything from it.
And we did.
Then everything I was worried about came 100% true.
Yeah.
And now I just have to live with that.
Yeah.
For as long as I'm alive.
So just got like a little taster of like a kind of
little taster of like how
a kind
life
of free
could
trial
be.
of.
It's like one of those, like, you're hungry, you're in a store and you don't actually have the money, but there's like one of those displays that has like a couple of crackers with like a little bit of something they've prepared on it so you can taste it, but it doesn't actually fill you.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
It's a shame you can't shoplift socialism into reality.
Actually, what do you
have we tried?
I have something to tell you about shoplifting.
Look, if we all shoplift at the same time, they've only got like 2 security guards, and that's if it's a big supermarket. Like most of us would get away.
For legal reasons, we're not actively saying that you should shoplift, but I do think it would be funny.
And Manny, the security guard at Waterstones. Hi, I don't do this, and I love keeping an eye out for people who do, especially people like who are in disguise. We have a regular disguised person come into Waterstones with different wigs, which is
that's amazing.
Comedy value. It's great. She keeps doing like few £100 each time, and that's not so funny, but the wigs, it's great.
That's amazing. So I was watching
Jesus, ISHI, I love what you've going on. How many mustaches do you have? All of them in the final round, please.
I want the job of the security guard who comes in with the extra wigs. I'll just come on.
Yeah, that's teamwork.
We've got our own secret agent coming in from head office. You're going to beat them at their own game.
Clockwork Penguin just said you wouldn't download an economy. Sorry, Mabel, you were going to say something.
I was just thinking back to Disguises. There was an amazing game at the expo I went to in May that was a student game. It was you played as 2 kids in a trench coat.
Beautiful.
I was watching a video recently about the early days of drug smuggling. And there was this in the 60s, the acid craze became a craze because there was this cult who were giving it out for like 5 cents a tab or free if you didn't have 5 cents because they wanted you to join their Jesus cult. And like the acid gave you a really nice high, and then you were like, "Oh, is this Jesus? I will join your cult." And the way that they smuggled acid into America was a guy went along to the passport office. He got a passport. He went home. He got changed. He put on a wig and a pair of glasses. Came back and got another passport, and did that with different wigs and different glasses like half a dozen times, and then just got a bunch of passports. And it was that easy to like fake your identity in the 60s. And like if that still happened now, like I would be a drug dealer tomorrow.
Right, as soon as Katie's back, shall we carry on with the show? Are we ready?
For legal reasons, that was all jokes.
Yeah, don't cut that of just me going, I would be a drug dealer tomorrow. No context.
As a teacher,
That was
I
through
am
the cold open
duty
for the next
bound
best
to
of.
remind people of the rule of law.
And that it's really easy to break in these 3 simple steps. This will be on the test. So.
As a joke, let me very quickly tell you a funny joke. It's called How to Make Napalm.
Capitalism hates this one tip.
I want to dress up as ISHI 1 second.
Okay, when you dress up as ISHI, we'll carry on with the show.
I think these might be the guys.
I'm absolutely loving that. That's
amazing.
That's superb. Oh, you're gonna.
So
this
good.
is just like
wow,
a POV dress up.
How can I? Is this? Oh, there we are.
Yay!
Oh yes.
hold on.
Oh,
Seeing as we're
What
dressing up,
these ISHI, you fool? They come free with Zoom.
this is the
seeing as we're dressing up,
strawberry and moustache team. Oh, that's cute.
I got a guinea pig.
we've been expecting you, Mr. Bond.
Right. This is very.
Sorry, Johnny.
I'm just enjoying how this is going to contrast with the next round. Our next round is Between the Lines. This round is all about how politicians and public figures can conceal the truth with careful use of language to manipulate you into thinking and feeling certain ways about things, and to undo that by spelling out the subtext for you so you can make your own informed decisions. At least, that's what this round should be about, but frankly, both of the examples we have for you today are so clearly full of bullshit that nobody would fall for them anyway. But I digress. I'll be reading out a couple of statements from both politicians this time, actually, from the past month, and the teams will be taking turns to tell me what the authors were actually thinking as they were writing these words. So we're going to start with Katie's team. We're going to start with Boris Johnson's resignation statement. So the way this is going to work is I'm going to read out a line, and then one of you will translate what Boris Johnson is really saying between the lines. And then I'll move on to the next line, then I'll move on to the next person, and the next line, and the next person, and just keep going round until we finish. So we're going to start with Katie, then ISHI, then Mabel, and loop in that order. So your first line, Katie, is, I have received a letter from the Privileges Committee.
Full of fucking shit. I told you it was going to be now. I told you, and you wouldn't bloody listen to me. And now I'm going to leave, and I'm taking all of my bestest MPs with me.
Making it clear, much to my amazement, that they are determined to use the proceedings against me to drive out of Parliament.
Oh, I thought you were my mates, you bastards. I even threw you a party.
Oh, wait, no, not that. They still have not produced a shred of evidence that I knowingly or recklessly misled the Commons.
It's still me.
This
Yeah.
is Mabel.
Oh, sorry.
Do you want me to repeat it?
Accept the phone calls and the messages and the leftover wine and the phone calls I left on Rupert, the voicemails I left on Rupert Murdoch's phone, begging him to, and it just like goes on for about 5 minutes.
They know perfectly well that when I spoke in the Commons, I was saying what I believed sincerely to be true.
And I believed it. It wasn't true, but I'm just really good at believing things. Like, if someone showed me photos of fairies, like Arthur Conan Doyle style, I'd be well into it, you know? Like, I'm just gullible. What I'm saying is, you should want a gullible imbecile of a man to lead your country. Because I earnestly don't believe things happening right in front of my fucking eyes. And therefore, I should have my fingers on the nuclear button. Jesus Christ. I'm going full KIRSTIE on this one, bloody hell.
and what I had been briefed to say, like any other minister.
Can I just check that's me? Is that me?
Yeah, that's you, ISHI. Yep.
Okay. Sorry, could you tell me the line again?
So it kind of continues on from the previous line. I was saying what I believe sincerely to be true, and what I had been briefed to say, like any other minister.
Well, look, they told me if I say this, that's the only way I can keep my job, and also they will protect me in case parties come out, and, you know, I'm going to have another baby on the way. What can I say?
They know that I corrected the record as soon as possible. That's you, Mabel.
They know that I immediately burned everything within about 10 feet of me as soon as I heard that they may be coming after any kind of evidence.
And they know that I and every other senior official and minister, including the current Prime Minister and occupant of the same building, Rishi Sunak.
Oh, me.
Yep.
Sorry. Could you say that to me again,
sure.
please?
And they know that I and every other senior official and minister, including the current Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak.
I've got dirt on Rishi Sunak. We were at a party together. We were all listening to Lil Nas X. We were having a great time, and it's not come out by the skin of his fucking teeth. And if he votes against me in this thing, I'll have him.
Believe that we were working lawfully together.
Yeah, kind of made the laws, so I know what's legal. So, you know, don't mess with me because I'm like the lawmaker here, and I will remember shit till I forget it, which will be in like 5 seconds.
I have been an MP since 2001.
And God knows I earned it by having this hair. Do you think that people get this hair to not be MPs? I stole this hair off Michael Fabricant. I went into his room at night and took it from his bedside table.
I take my responsibility seriously.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, I couldn't keep that in. I take my responsibilities seriously because, as multiple people have said about me in the past few weeks, I view the opinion of the Telegraph as my real boss rather than the British public. Because even though the British public pays my meagre wages, which no one can be expected to live on 150k, my real bosses are the Telegraph, purely for their taste and awfulness.
I did not lie.
You know, lying, not lying, it's a grey area, really. You know, nothing is quite so black and white. You know, it's all on a spectrum. You know what I mean? They're like rainbows and shit. There's no such thing as really lying or not. I just think that you need to readdress what we define as lying.
I live outside the truth binary. Mabel, and I believe that in their hearts the committee know it.
I have so much dirt on you people. You are all going down. My father was a shit spy. I will send him after all of you. I will be there when you open your cupboards at night. Every time you open your fridge, I will be there.
But they have willfully chosen to ignore the truth.
Like me with my number of children. And me currently about all of this stuff. And me, I just like thinking about me, but I'm not going to take any accountability for it. But I'm just going to do the whole, like, no, you do the thing that I did, and until I kind of gaslight everyone into thinking that that's true. And then I'll go and I'll do something in the Daily Mail and it'll be fine.
Just fully, I know you are, but what am I?
Yeah.
Because from the because from the outset, their purpose has not been to discover the truth or genuinely to understand what was in my mind when I spoke in the Commons.
Listen, guys, I did it all for my dad. I really need my dad to be proud of me. Now, come on, pull your thoughts up and just change it all, because do you know what? My dad is so proud of me right now, and don't piss on it now. Come on.
Their purpose from the beginning has been to find me guilty, regardless of the facts.
And as I've said, those facts are... I can't think of them right now. But regardless of what they are, everyone is out to get me.
This is the very definition of a kangaroo court.
I don't even know what a kangaroo is.
Most members of the committee, especially the chair, had already expressed deeply prejudicial remarks about my guilt before they had seen the evidence. That's for you, ISHI, by the way.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. I'll repeat it. Most members of the committee, especially the chair, had already expressed deeply prejudicial remarks about my guilt before they had seen the evidence.
They're all jealous. They're completely jealous. You know, they asked me what shampoo I used, and I just did not tell them. And this is why, because they really want hair like this. And this is why they keep banging on about it. And this is why they have outed me and really focused on me. This is bullying is what this is.
Okay, and last one, Mabel. They should have recused themselves.
They absolutely should have, and I don't know what recuse means at this stage, but I'm going to use it because it's a big word. They should have. They should have. I feel like Nero. Am I Nero? I might be Nero. I could be Nero.
Brilliant, thanks.
Habe Kavesson Mayhem.
Beautiful. Thank you, and well done for managing to make that somehow more coherent than the actual statement. Okay, we're gonna have Kirstie's team now. You're gonna be. I'm so sorry. You're gonna be translating a heavily abridged version of Nadine Dorris's complaint in whatever newspaper it was about not being in the House of Lords. So lucky you. We'll go Kirstie, Ella, Tom. Your first line is: I have always been in awe of the House of Lords. It is where the heavy lifting of scrutinising legislation takes place.
Mummy and Daddy said I would get one, and like I've not got much long left. Where is it? Where's mine? Mine.
While the elected chamber, the Commons, is the stage for set pieces such as Prime Minister's questions and of late little else.
I'm sure it's really cool, but as long as I'm not in there, it sucks.
It's true to say that I've lived a different life to the majority of peers in the upper house, so no wonder I felt so proud when I heard I was to join them.
It is true to say that the others are much richer than I. I have only ever broken a £20 note rather than a £50 note, so I am one of the people, as you well know.
Boris told me his honours list had been submitted and his staff said I would hear in due course.
Sucked his dick for nothing.
I know. As the reader, you are probably thinking, oh, cry me a river, and I get it, but it was important to me to show someone so that someone from my background could break the class ceiling.
Listen, I'm one of you too, so if you get mad at me, honestly, you're doing class warfare.
No sitting Prime Minister has ever interfered with the honours list of a former Prime Minister.
This is my way of trying to get people to be racist without saying so.
Last Thursday, I got a call from a leading political journalist. His words chilled me.
He told me that after everything, I still can't have exactly what I want.
I was stunned. I didn't believe him.
I saw this coming, but if I don't pretend like I'm really surprised, then people are going to get really mad.
I called the chief whip, who said all was well. He had not been informed of any change, but would make further inquiries. At 3:30 p.m, he called me back. My name had, in fact, been removed.
Sucked his dick for nothing.
The list was published half an hour later. I knew then my suspicions that someone was using me to play political games was true.
As if the Tories would use someone to play political games.
I believe now that my absence from the list was deliberate.
Nobody in the history of England has ever been as oppressed, as vilified as I am in this moment.
It is my belief that when Rishi Sunak told Boris Johnson he would sign off the list returned to him, he was using weasel words.
I've tried as hard as I might to try and write a word and a sentence. I sent this into the editor and they said, you can't use the P word, so I had to edit
it. He already knew who was and wasn't on that list because he had engineered it via his aide.
Could have sucked off the aid as well.
If I'm being generous and number 10's duplicitous machinations were to avoid a by-election, they should have talked to me. We could have worked together. As it is, they now have not 1 but 3 by-elections to contest.
Suck their dicks for nothing.
I have never been under any illusion that breaking through the class ceiling would be a battle.
Pie, chips and gravy. Pie, chips and gravy. Feel sympathy for me.
Last few now. I was born into poverty and clawed my way out of it to build a new life for me and my family.
For me. Just for me. Fuck the family. Just me. They didn't suck no one's dick.
A seat in the Lords was recognition of that, and that means continuing to give back to society.
I want my thing. Give me my thing.
I'm not going to lie. I believe sinister forces conspired against me and have left me heartbroken.
Ghosts! Ooh!
Oh, thank you for sitting through that. I actually don't know who to give the points to, so I'm going to give you both points. So you have higher numbers, but the distance is the same. Then on Katie's team are on 14 points, and Kirstie's team are on 7.
Why?
We might actually catch up at this point. Let's see how if we catch up.
All the points are in the last round. We know this.
Yeah.
You get like 50 points in one round, and the rest will have like 3.
Oh no. I meant catching up because of how behind time we are. Not in terms of points. Yeah,
You're getting nothing.
We're not catching up these points, Kirsty.
Brilliant. So our next round is called. Hang on.
It's called cancelled, Johnny.
It is called cancelled. Yeah, I was looking for.
Ella gets some points for doing your job.
I never get points for doing my own job. Our next round is called Cancelled. What show would be complete if we didn't irreparably demolish the career of someone by utilising our legions of literally tens of fans to commit an organised boycott of them for reasons ranging from the petty to actually this person is literally a Nazi, why do they still have a platform? Each guest will make a nomination for who they wish to cancel, and at the end of all we'll vote on it, and at the end of the round we'll probably just forget all about them and leave them to it, to be honest. So much for the tolerant left. Right, we're going to start with Kirsty, actually. I think we all want to hear what's going to rant about now.
Yeah.
Kirsty, who are you cancelling this month?
Feel like I'm gonna need to convince you on this one.
Yeah.
And I've been holding on to this one since the 1st of May because I am cancelling the nurses' strike.
Okay.
Ooh.
So, 1st of May was a bank holiday in England, so I had the day off work, and I spent the day going for a nice bike ride. And I cycled past the nurses' strike, and I thought, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a photo of all of the cool signs, and I'm going to, put it on the socials, like hashtag save the NHS, hashtag nurses' strike, hashtag stand with key workers, all of that stuff. And when I cycle, I put my headphones in and listen to music. So when I went past them, I couldn't hear what they were saying. And then I took my headphones out to take the photos, and they were singing Hey Rishi to the tune of Hey Baby, and it made me feel like this country is never getting better. Like they sounded like they were like jazzing up a 9-year-old's birthday party by putting his name into pop songs. It didn't sound like they were threatening the prime minister of a country that they would withdraw some of the most valuable labour society depends on because they are starving. Like, it sounded like you're like the cuntiest wine mum in the cul-de-sac is throwing a party for her shittiest kid. That's what it sounded like. And it broke my heart, right? Because, like, we are supposed to be, like, fighting against this, not, like, that's not threatening anyone. Like, the Conservatives are selling, the working class, they're trying to get on side. This idea of this resilient, loyal, aggressive, like British bulldog stereotype without telling you that it's like had its claws and teeth ripped out and it's starving and it's got no fur, so it's not got a thick skin anymore and it's about to just die. It would be better off if you put it down as this dog that we're supposed to be. And full contrast, so the French are protesting things, but their May Day parade on the 1st of May every year is a commemoration of a previous protest where the working class stood up and said, fuck you. And this year, the French have been rebelling against the elite because they are trying to, like, do all the same things this country is getting away with, basically. And despite, referendums saying not to raise the retirement age, the French government is pushing it through. And on May Day this year, the French working class got together and did protests that actually matter, right? Cops were being set on fire. They were having fireworks shot at them. They were like unconscious police officers with riot gear were like getting kicked the shit out of by people dressed like Deadpool who were there for funsies. And we were singing like Hey Rishi, like children. Like a McDonald's was burned down. Government buildings were set on fire. Like at one point, there is a fantastic video on the internet of a police officer trying to throw a smoke grenade at protesters, it getting caught in his riot shield and hitting himself in the face. Where is this rage for us? where is this rage? I need it in this country because we are not achieving anything with Hey Rishi. And like, I support the nurses' strike. My problem with them is that it's not aggressive enough and it happened way too late. It should have been 10 years earlier. But like, we can't look at the country next to us doing things that are actually making a difference, setting cops on fire and shooting them with fireworks, and like them having to like drag unconscious police officers by their feet to the street because they can't get them to an ambulance because that's how effective the protesters are while we're singing Hey Rishi. And to illustrate my point, I'm going to put a Twitter thread in the chat with a lot of very satisfying videos of police officers getting set on fire in France.
Oh, amazing.
I think we need to remind people again that this is a comedy show, and therefore anything said is purely for comedic purposes, and that setting cops on fire while very funny is illegal.
Also, the 1st of May is traditionally a protest in France because it's traditionally a protest everywhere because May Day protests are a thing because of the notion of carnival.
Yeah. And May Day is like everywhere except in kind of the US. May 1st is just it's just the general. It started as the general strike.
Yeah. No.
I enjoy sitting in the garden.
So that's my random history fact for today.
That's really cool, though.
Thanks very much, Kirstie. That was a really strong start. ISHI, we're going to have you next. Who are you cancelling?
So I'd like to cancel people who just drop in the word nuanced and context, and then they make themselves sound really, really intelligent, like they've gone to Oxford or Cambridge, and before you know it, just because they've constantly used the word nuanced or context, they become Prime Minister. And that's how really, let's cancel this word nuanced. And it's like, well, it's not hot. It's actually quite nuanced. And what's the context of being hot right now? Like, come on, let's just simple language. It annoys me. It's like, oh, that person wasn't really racist. Should we just like look at the context of what they were talking about? Chubby Brown in context is quite clean, really. You know, and his comedy is quite nuanced. No. So I think let's cancel nuanced. Let's cancel context. Let's bring back simple language where it actually means what it says, and stop people trying to sound so intelligent when really they're dumb.
Thanks, ISHI. Yeah, no, 100%. It's one of those words that was really useful, and then people started using it in very not nuanced ways, and just being fucking awful. Fully agree with you. Thanks very much. Ella, we'll have you next. Who are you cancelling?
Okay, so earlier this month, a cheap barrel filled with hot air and shit imploded so spectacularly that the whole world had to hold its breath for a minute just to see what would happen next. Anyway, not actually talking about Putin and Elon Musk. About this. But you did hear about this submarine situation because a billionaire wanted to go sightseeing the world's most famous mass grave and to get some of his rich friends to go with him, but pay him $250,000 a pop for the pleasure of watching what is essentially drone footage on a shitty screen because there were too many people in the fucking submarine, so one person had to sit in front of the only window, which wasn't even calibrated for that depth, while sitting in the world's most dangerous tinfoil can looking at a screen for a shitty camera while somebody's using a 2002 GameCube controller to steer it. The worst part to me is, of course, that the billionaire whose name I refuse to remember also had a 19-year-old on board, and that fucking sucks. I won't celebrate the fact that the sub got destroyed. I will, however, laugh because the submarine imploded so fast that they were not just crushed, but atomized. The air in the submarine superheated to a plasma literally hotter than the surface of the sun within less time than it took them to blink. They went from being biology to being physics. The only thing that was left of them was a very fine powder that gently drifted down to the bottom of the ocean to be nibbled on by tiny fish. And I think that's important because it marks the first time in human history that a billionaire has actually trickled down and has been abused. That was it.
Beautiful. Yeah. Wow. What a punchline. Oh, superb.
Science, bitch.
Oh, thanks very much, Anna. Katie, we'll have you next. Who are you cancelling this month? I've just left the word dinosaurs above you. Sorry, I'm going to correct that because you're probably not cancelling dinosaurs.
Everyone should just have things they like around them as like a vibes thing.
Carry on.
So I am picking, and this is not going to be an unpopular one, but the 5-day work week is going to get fucking gone. I had COVID a couple of weeks ago, but like not bad. And then I had 3 days back at work, and then some assigned holiday that I had, and just. It's amazing how much after all that time away from work and then only having like 3 days in and then another break and then I had like 4 days in and then a weekend. I was so much more productive at work and I got to do so much more stuff in my real life. Whereas now my flat, I've been working 5 days a week. I've been transitioning doing stand-up to real life and I've not made a meal for myself in a few days. I've got like a week's worth of dishes. My flat is a mess. Because I have to, I've got so many things that I need to do for my own well-being, but I have to go and stand still for 9 hours and do the job of a self-service checkout. And it's horrible. And the only reason I'm doing that job is because the company I work for is really short-staffed. But even so, this could be fixed with universal basic income or at least a 4-day work week or both.
Yeah.
And I've got an opportunity now to leave it behind me, and I'm realizing how much working in retail full time has messed with my head over the last 5 years. It's taken all of the fight out of me, or a great deal of the fight out of me. If someone tries to start something in a bar, I just kind of look at them and wait for it to stop. I can't swear at people in public anymore. It's so weird. And it's a horrible servitude mindset to get into. And I feel like I'm actually going to have to physically deprogram myself from that constant people pleasing bullshit, going out of your way for people who will not be grateful. It's gross. And this is very unstructured. I'm very tired.
No, that's fine. If anything, it supports your argument.
Yeah, it's just how I'm feeling.
Oh, thanks very much. Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to disagree with that. Absolutely. Yeah. 5-day work week makes literally no sense at this point. But yeah, there's. I know a few places to try it. Hopefully it'll roll out properly, but I have my doubts. But it's good that you're at least going to be out of that job soon, and hopefully you'll be able to get out of the retail mindset, because that does take a lot of deprogramming. Thanks very much, Katie. Tom, who are you cancelling this month? I think you're on mute.
I'm afraid to say I feel like mine are not as what's the word? I don't know. I don't feel like mine are quite have as much gravitas as the ones that we've had previously.
The house neither does mine, so.
Oh well, prepare to have a lack of gravitas off in a moment. But this is someone who has personally grievanced me, and it's Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, this one's gonna win because Johnny's a nerd.
Fucking piss
I'm not
me
complaining.
off.
You're on my team, but it's.
I'm always down for helping out the team. For those of you who follow my channel, Hot Storm Productions, you'll know that I, in addition to the Talking Rubbish podcast, I also stream games on there, and every year I've done a Sonic the Hedgehog month, and I purchased what I thought was his new game, Sonic Origins Plus. it was a. I thought it was like a remaster, like I thought it was like the new kind of like Sonic Mania, which was like a new game in the old style. But it just turns out this is the old game, in like slightly nicer graphics, and I paid like 40 quid for this. I was real pissed off. I normally play like retro games on the channel because like it's hard for me to justify getting like new games. So I bought this, being like, oh, it's a new Sonic game. It's in line with doing Sonic the Hedgehog month, and then I played it, and I was like, I've streamed this fucking dozens of times now. and the only difference is this is in 16:9 versus 4:3. Right? So Sonic the Hedgehog, right? And I wasn't even intending on doing fucking a Sonic the Hedgehog month this year, because I'd already done one in January, because it was suggested to me, because I hit 50 followers on the channel, to do Sonic Heroes. I did Sonic Heroes. One, it's not aged well. Two, it took fucking ages. Like so long that January became fucking Sonic the Hedgehog month. Begrudgingly, right? And now he has begrudgingly won himself a second Sonic the Hedgehog month, because I'll be damned if I'm spending 40 quid on a game and not fucking getting my money's worth out of it. And that is why Sonic the Hedgehog is being cancelled. Feel free to watch him on my channel as much as you can over the next month.
Brilliant. Thanks, Tom. I'm so sorry. Yeah, it's weird because they're touting that they've added like all of the Game Gear games to it as well, and like they've been re-released so many times on so many different platforms, and yet they still won't give us Knuckles Chaotix, which is genuinely a rare find. So until they add that, I'm not interested in these collections. So yeah, because Kirsty called me out, you're not going to win, but but just know that in my soul. Yeah, no, that is a strong argument. Okay, and last but not least, Mabel, who are you cancelling this month?
I would like to cancel Bridlington.
Tom?
This is a very long-standing grudge. So Bridlington is the site of the worst gig of my entire life. For a start, I had recently moved to Yorkshire and had been promised a seaside gig. I get to Bridlington and it is not the sea, I know. It is some weird grey and brown thing that doesn't have a proper beach and is very weird. The town has literally none of even the faded charm of old seaside towns. Because like you can sometimes go to an old seaside town and it's a bit ramshackle and faded, and there's like crappy arcades everywhere and things like that. But it's still kind of fun, and it's like you get that weird nostalgia feeling, and it's so shit, it's kind of good. And Bridlington is not like that. It is just like what were once gorgeous houses faded into dilapidation. And it's just streets and streets and streets of that, and they all look exactly the same. But we get to this gig, and it was a gig in the Bridlington Spa, like hotel and theatre. I think it's like a big theatre. And it was done out for panto season, so we couldn't. So they were like, "Oh, we're sorry, we'll have to put you in the smaller room. We can't put you in like the big auditorium like room. We have to put you in the smaller theatre," which was a 300-seater. 12 people turned up. Oh. They kept their coats on.
Oh no!
Oh,
and it's in December, and they kept their coats on. It was like they spread out all over the bloody theatre. I go on, and and there are two girls at the back genuinely laughing at my stammer. They made the opening act tell Christmas jokes because they just wouldn't leave him alone, and it was so awful that the headliner did not want to go on. And it was just the worst gig ever, and I have vowed ever since that I refuse to go back to Bridlington. I want to expunge Bridlington from the map. And it's not even a place you would want to go for any reason, because like it's not even like, oh well, it's kind of like well, it's Yorkshire. There's the shit. The seaside's quite shit in Yorkshire. There are lovely beaches in Yorkshire. There are definitely loads of places you can go that aren't this fucking hellhole where everyone hates everyone, and apparently perfectly warm theatres are fine to keep your coat on because, I don't know, it might be terrible. Don't want to stay. Don't want to take my coat off. That implies I'm staying. Want to give him some work to do. Why? Why is Bridlington this place? So yes, I want like a giant sea serpent to come out of the sea, just take a bite that is entirely Bridlington, and leave the rest of the country fraying. Okay, I feel better now.
Superb. Good.
I've been holding that in for 10 years.
I'm glad you got that out of your system.
Amazing.
I do feel like this round has been very cathartic for everyone.
It has, yeah. Cool. This is a strong lineup. I think I've picked my 3 who we're gonna put to the poll. Just to note as well, it is nearly 10. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the poll, and then once that finishes, we're gonna go straight into the final 2 rounds rather than have another proper break. So the 5 minutes while the poll is live, use that to go to the loo and get drinks or do any of the things you need to do. So I'm gonna shortlist. I'm gonna shortlist the nurses' strike / hate. I suppose it's specifically Hey Rishi. I'm gonna put that.
I really fucking hated it. I wish I hadn't taken my headphones out because I was like, yeah, I'm on your side, and I'm like, why are you singing him a happy song? Why? I was so.
I know. I think I absolutely hated it. So I'm gonna shortlist Hey Rishi, the Ocean Gate CEO, and the misuse of the word nuanced. We're gonna leave that up for 5 minutes. Get your votes in now. Cool. Right, I'm gonna nip to the loo and get myself another drink. Everyone do the same, and then we'll be back in 5 minutes.
I always forget you've got to click the button when you do this. Like every time we've done this round, I'm pretty sure I've like clicked the one I want to win and then just sat there with my vote not actually having been recorded. Because like you don't just click it, you've got to click it and then click vote. 2 steps.
You'll make it into the 21st century. Yeah.
Too complicated for me. 2 whole steps. How's everyone doing?
I'm doing all right. Voice is going a bit.
I did, until I put that thread in the chat, I forgot how satisfying it was to see a cop throw a grenade at his own face. Like, that is the best bit.
The flashbang was so funny.
Like, he throws it, and he's in a crowd of police officers holding riot shields. It doesn't even hit someone in front of him who moves in the way. It hits his own shield, bounces off his face, and then there's just a big puff of smoke and they all shit themselves. It's hilarious.
It really is fantastic.
Like, I think it's the same as like the kind of weird joy some people are taking in the Ocean Gate thing. Like, if you are seeing the consequences of your actions instead of us for once. Like, that is it, isn't it?
Yeah.
It wasn't funny, it's true.
If only something had happened in which a similar thing had happened in history. That was.
Where a bunch of people in a specific location.
Yeah.
We could have learned from it, perhaps, if there'd been some kind of forewarning.
I think my favorite part is still that the song was called the Titan.
I know.
They could have called it the Titanic too, but they didn't for one specific reason. Do you know why?
Why?
Because Titanic 2 was taken. Titanic 2 sank quite a while ago.
You'd think they'd learn by now.
I think the weirdest part is that there is a movie, The Titanic 2.
Yeah.
Is there?
Yeah, there is. And it's like, what's that? Mermaids Move In?
That sounds amazing.
I'd watch that film. I won't watch the actual Titanic 2 because it's probably some bullshit, but I'd watch that film.
If I recall correctly, the main characters were mice.
Andrew Taylor's just said Titanic is still free, right? Titanic, Too Furious.
That's too tight.
Titanic, too furious. Wait, okay, so if we're going by that,
looks like
hold
Havish is
on.
running away with this vote, by the way. So if anyone has,
Yeah.
if anyone strongly likes the Hey Rishi protest method, get your votes in against it now. But
So, okay, if we're going by that naming system, we've got the Titanic, too Titanic, too furious.
Oh god,
Titanic, Tokyo Drift. Titan, Fast Titan. Titanic 6, Titanic 7, The Fate of the Titanic, Titanic presents Hobbs and Shaw. T9, and then Titan X, I think.
Titan X. So when you said Titan X, did anyone ever see Jason X?
Well, I mean,
Yeah. It's like a slasher film, but in space, and it's just like horny.
that sounds amazing.
Like that's what I'm picturing when you say Titan X. Like it's the Titanic in space, but Jason
is there.
packing up people trying to fuck. Like that's the plot. I would want.
I made a sandwich. Sorry.
Please don't apologise.
I mean, you were back in time.
Did you bring enough for everyone, though? But you need to keep in mind that Fast X is the name of the last Fast and the Furious movie.
It is.
Yeah.
And now I'm not going to be able to unthink Jason X. I mean, I don't care.
No, okay, but Fast and
Hey Rishi has won the cancellation. So
let's move on.
Oh wow.
You have heard it here. KIRSTIE has officially cancelled the nurses' strikes. Thanks, KIRSTIE.
They can have another strike when they learn to do it better.
And in second place was the Ocean Gate CEO. But just to see the difference, 73% of the votes went to Hey Rishi, 18% went to Ocean Gate CEO.
Wow.
But as you're both on the same team, that means you all get the full points anyway. So at the end of that round, Katie's team won 14 points and KIRSTIE's team won 13 points. So you are catching up. Believe in yourselves more.
Catching up.
Fab, are we all back? Cool. Okay, next round is the Great Debate, and to celebrate the 7th anniversary of that little referendum we had that time that just changed UK politics forever based on a measly less than 2% majority vote, we're going to check in with some politicians, public figures, and experts, and other people on the state of
Worst
Brexit.
birthday present ever.
7 years on. Happy birthday, everyone. We've all got the same birthday now. That's how this show works. This is what communism's all about. We all share things. How things are going and where we can go next. So we are joined by Tom, who is Keir Starmer, Mabel, who is Ursula von der Leyen, President of the European Commission. I also probably pronounced that wrong, but I don't care. Ella, who is Nigel Farage. ISHI, who is Boris's Brexit bus, KIRSTIE, who is Rishi Sunak, and Katie, who is the 80s rock band Europe. So thanks all for joining. We're going to start with our opening statement. We are running behind time, so we're going to speed through this. So yeah, opening statement for each of you. Do you? So first of all, which way did you vote in the Brexit referendum, and do you stand by that vote, and why or why not? So we'll start with Tom. Keir Starmer, do you stand by your vote?
Yes, I stand by my votes. I have to say that I stood by it because, unfortunately, all the Labour strongholds voted for it. So if I go against it, I can't retain those seats potentially. And the places where I'm trying to win are generally were generally not for it. So to say what I voted for, what a pickle.
Fair enough. Thanks very much to Keir Starmer. We'll go with someone who might be a bit more convicted in his views, even if they are wrong. Nigel, what do you stand with? Do you stand by the result of the Brexit referendum? Why or why not?
I don't look back at anything. I look only forwards. I I don't remember. But Brexit will happen.
Thanks, Nigel. Ever the optimist, brilliant. Well, might as well have the just realised I put like all the politicians on the same team. Whoops. So we'll have Rishi Sunak next as the current sitting prime minister. How did you vote, and do you stand by that vote?
Yeah, I voted to leave. Of course, I stand by it. Britain will find itself with more opportunities for economic innovation than at any other time in almost 50 years. But we haven't grasped any of them yet, but we will. We will level up. That's what we've been saying. We will level up the UK. This is an investment in Britain and our independent growth and prosperity. We will.
Oh, beautiful. Thanks very much. Okay, we're also joined by a representative from Europe. We've got Ursula. What? Obviously, you didn't vote in the Brexit referendum because you're not a citizen of the country. But would you have done, and how would you have voted? Are you happy that the UK is left? Tell us how you're thinking about the whole thing.
Jesus fucking Christ. I don't even know why. I don't know what you were all thinking. I just... Oh. Why am I even here? Why don't you all leave me alone? You've done your damage.
I should point as well, the actual Question Time celebrated this anniversary by getting an entirely Leave voting audience, so we've at least made an effort here. We're also Boris Johnson himself couldn't actually make it today because he's writing bullshit for the Daily Mail. But we are joined by a very close friend of him, the Brexit Bus, in which he campaigned with. So, Bus, how presumably you voted to leave? Do you stand by this?
I voted to leave, and I'm regretting it, because if I hadn't voted to leave, I might still have Boris on board, and we'd be travelling, and oh my goodness, the parties and the women he shagged on board, and oh my god, I'm missing all the parties, and I'm missing seeing how many women he shagged. Oh, it was like dogging but only bussing. It was so much fun, and I miss it all. I wish I hadn't voted to leave.
Oh, obligatory bussy pun there. I wasn't expecting the character to go that way. I enjoyed that. Brilliant. I'm also joined by the entirety of possibly the greatest rock band in the world, who have a really good song. We've got Europe with us. Again, obviously not UK citizen, so you didn't vote, but do you support the way the country voted? And yeah, how do you think it's going now?
The words of a madman are spoken. I guess I'm not the only one. The heart of this sad man is broken. That's Lying Eyes by the rock band Europe.
Thanks very much, Europe. Appreciate it. Okay, so I guess more open questions now. How much do you think that the current cost of living crisis we're living in is down to Brexit? We'll start with Rishi Sunak.
I don't know what you mean, cost of living crisis. We are levelling up. I believe in the importance of fiscal responsibility. If you can't survive, I survive on, a combined wealth with my wife of like 700 billion. And if like, that's like average. Like, I'm an ordinary person, and fiscal responsibility is very important. Like, if you can't afford food, like, maybe that's on you.
Okay, fair enough. Nigel, Keir, do you have any disagreements to what the Prime Minister has said there?
Well, it depends on where you're asking me. If you were to ask me in central London, I might say that, of course, it's been caused by Brexit not being delivered. However, if you were to ask me in, say, Abergavenny, I might say absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think you'll find that Brexit is good for Britain. Never mind all these things around the town that say that this was built with EU funding.
Fair enough.
The cost of living crisis was caused more than anything by bad government policies made by a different party, and the failure of regulation put into place by I forget who, because I only look forwards. Brexit will happen.
Oh, brilliant. Thanks, Nigel. So, Ursula and Europe, you're obviously not in the country at the minute. I think the cost of living crisis is hitting everyone, but I think it's going quite a bit better where you are. Do you think that the UK's particularly rough time with it is due to Brexit?
Oh, sorry, I need to not be here for a moment because I'm just ordering all the 3 diamond tiaras that we're sending out to everyone in Europe. Yeah. I'll be back once I've finished ordering their free lobster dinners.
Okay, thanks, Ursula. Europe, in the meantime, while she's doing that, cost of living, your thoughts?
Gone through changes, and I've gone through pain, but it's not enough reason for me to go insane. I know the feeling. Just when it grows, I'm in a rage up from my head down to my toes.
Really underrated song, that one. It's a good one. Thanks, Europe. And Brexit bus, is the cost of living crisis impacting you? And do you think this is because of Brexit?
Oh, if only Boris hadn't left the bus. If only Boris hadn't left inside me, I would still be rolling around the country with 350 million across the side of me, right? And I would still be red. But instead, here I am being sold off to a bank, and all I've got now is blue on the outside. Blue how I feel, and blue how the country feels, but not seeing me with Boris inside me anymore.
Oh, I am terrified of the fan art we get from this segment.
I think at the end of the day, it's very important that we don't measure everything in terms of GDP, figures and economics and numbers. There is something called quality of life.
Okay, and how is the quality of life going?
I only look forward.
Okay, so I guess a slightly broader question, whether you supported Brexit or not, what do you think the benefits and the downsides of Brexit are as you see them? Open question to the panel there.
Brexit is the best thing that's ever happened to Russia.
I mean, frankly, we got the fuck rid of you. And from that perspective, it's been quite nice.
How we all envy you. Thanks, Ursula. Rishi,
I won't live to see tomorrow. Oh, sorry.
No, you go on.
I won't live to see tomorrow. There won't be another breath. None of them will ever sorrow those who sentence me to death. That is Scream of Anger by the rock band Europe.
Kia, Rishi, any thoughts? Best benefits, worst impacts of Brexit?
I would say have a think about what Jeremy Corbyn might have said about it. And if that angers you, I would have said the opposite. And if it would please you, I would repeat it, but in my own words.
Prime Minister, any thoughts?
We are levelling up.
Thank you. Brilliant.
You might not believe me, but we are.
Well, if the Prime Minister has made a statement, and we all know that Tory politicians are never found to lie, so thanks for that reassurance. We appreciate it. Brexit bus. I don't think we've heard of you on this yet. What? I know you're not vibing with Brexit, but what do you think is the biggest benefit of it?
Biggest benefit of it is I think now that Boris is out of office, he might reconsider coming back inside me and I might just not. I might not have the bankers inside me because they're just like really boring. They don't know how to party like Boris. So maybe, that might just happen in my favour. Maybe.
Nice, yes. It's nice to have an optimistic outlook on things sometimes, isn't it? Lovely. Okay, so immigration was obviously a hot topic and a hot motivating factor in the campaign and why a lot of people did vote to leave. But the figures have actually gone way up since before we left the EU. Why do you think this might be, and what do you propose that we do about it? Rishi, we'll start with you.
We are levelling up is what we are doing. I don't know how much clearer I can make this. We have opportunities, we have growth, and we are levelling up the whole country.
Thank you. Nigel?
Brexit will happen.
Okay, so you think the reason that immigration has gone up and not down is because we haven't left the EU yet?
Well, of course. I mean...
No, I can't argue with that logic.
Because if Brexit had happened, then it would have all worked out. And it hasn't. So Brexit will happen.
Thanks, Nigel. Keir Starmer, what do you propose to do about do you think how has Brexit made the immigration problem worse, or has it made it worse? What do you feel about it?
Brexit and immigration are really, really important, and I know that they concern many people within the country and many people who vote. So I really want to just reassure the voters that the Conservative Party, the Labour Party, is doing all they can to sort this out.
Thanks very much. Any other thoughts on immigration and Brexit and why it seems to have the reverse effect of what was promised from the panel?
Someone's at your door tonight. Someone just wants your love. Is it real or just imagination? You decide to wait inside till the break of dawn in dreams of yourself seeking affection. That's Love Chaser by the rock band Europe.
Yeah. Send another boat over.
Oh fuck! Brexit bus. Any thoughts on immigration?
Yes, immigration has gone up, and it's all thanks to me. They've all come to see me in the red with 350 million for the NHS across this side of me. I'm the reason they're all coming. Thank you very much. So let's get back to campaigning and get Boris inside again. Let's do this.
Oh, get Boris inside again is going to haunt me. Right. Okay, closing
T-shirts, Johnny.
Okay, closing statements now. And I think we'll start with Nigel on this one. How do we move forward from here?
Well, I've mentioned before. I look forward. I've said before that the great and the good will decide what is good for us and make sure that what we get is good for us, good and hard and deep and long. Excuse me.
Going off to the Brexit bus, I think.
Well, we just put it from gear neutral to the first gear. While we move forward, the wheels go round and yeah.
Really, really pragmatic advice. Thank you, Brexit Bus. Prime Minister, Leader of the Opposition, how would you move forward with the way we are with Brexit?
Continue exactly as we are. I'm doing an excellent job, and I don't know why you plebs think I'm not. I've got more money than I've ever had.
Keir Starmer?
Well, I think it's important to take on board the thoughts of the people. And I was doing a surgery the other day, political surgery, not brain. Just like to point that out. But yes, I was doing the surgery, and I had an astounding member of the public, and they came up to me and they said these words, and I will never forget them. And excuse the accent, but I feel like I have to do the accent in order to give it justice. But I tell you this, that as bad as it gets, at least we're not being run by that Jeremy bloody Corbyn.
Powerful stuff. Thanks very much, Keir Starmer. Ursula, obviously you've got a very different point of view in this, but how do you think the UK should best move forward after Brexit? Do you think they should be realigning themselves with the European Union a bit, try and overcome some of the tensions that have rifted between us?
The fuck do we care? It's your problem now. It's not up to me. As soon as I can get the planning permission in France, we will have fans across the seaboard to blow you further out into the Atlantic, so we don't have to bother with you even further. I am fed up. We've not had to deal with your horrible, sweaty men coming into our parliament, moaning about brown people. And frankly, it's been a breath of fresh air, both figuratively and literally.
Well, I'm glad someone's having a good time. And to close us off, Europe, what are your closing statements on the Brexit issue? How do we move forward?
Living together, but still, it's farewell. Maybe we'll come back to Earth. Who can tell? I guess there is no one to blame. We're leaving ground, brackets, leaving ground, close brackets. Will things ever be the same again? It's the final countdown. That was the final countdown by the rock band Europe.
I think the guitarist of Europe was on mute there, but oh, fantastic. Okay, brilliant. Right, I am torn between two people, but they're both on the same team. So Katie's team get the main points for that, but I am going to give some runner-up points to Ella's impeccable Nigel Farage. So
It was beautiful.
It's so important for you to know that aside from like one or two things, these were all Nigel quotes. He just sounds like a clown.
But you've got to give bonus accuracy points. That's incredible.
I will get. Yeah, no, I'll do that. Fuck it. Yeah. So we're gonna have.
If we lose now, I'm an idiot. The rock band Europe is an idiot. Katie isn't. She's perfect.
The sentence, the great and good will decide what is good for us and make sure that we get what is good for us, good and hard, is the horniest sentence ever.
Is that a real one? Oh my god. Superb. Right, at the end of that round, Katie's team are still in the lead on 22 points and Kirstie's team are on 17, but it is close, and as I say, all the points are in the final round, so the rest of this was really just a big waste of time. As we move into the final round, which is called the cage match where no one wins. In this round, I'll be giving the guest topics to riff on.
No, I'm afraid I have a note from my mum. So, my mum said we had to call it off, and I can buy you off with emeralds. So.
In this round, I'll be giving the guest topics to riff on, and points will go to the gags that I find the funniest. So we're going to start with rejected Boris Johnson Daily Mail articles. This is a free-for-all. Obviously, try not to talk over each other. Take it away.
cost of living, how I'd saved money buying just the one Bentley.
Save money during the cost of living crisis by not knowing how many children you have.
How to move dick pics from WhatsApp to Telegram when you've lost access to your phone.
How to plan the perfect wedding by announcing that you're going to leave your job, but your job must still pay for your wedding.
How to exploit the tax loopholes I wrote that allow you to claim your children as dependents without paying child support or ever seeing them.
How to use your fame from Have I Got News for You into a stellar political career.
The ultimate party plan, throw the best stealth birthday.
How to act like a bumbling buffoon in order to fool everybody into thinking that you're smart and pretending to be a buffoon when you're actually really stupid.
I know how it feels to have all of your top and most trusted people just turn their back on you and like stab you in the back for no reason. So Vladimir, if you're reading this, got my number. I'm here for you. I'm happy that it's over now, but I know that it's like really hard hunt, so just like get in touch.
How to insert Latin into almost any sentence.
Hairstyling tips.
Brexit success. Bananas now perfectly bent.
Home improvement segment. My top 5 fridges this month.
The inside review.
Yeah.
How to make a bus out of a milk carton.
Oven ready, oven ready, oven ready.
DNA tests, are they really that accurate?
How to use pure bullshit to get Google results to bury the things that are actually bad if people learn about you.
How to take the phrase eaten mess very, very literally.
In order to connect with some of the people in my resignation honours, the next article I write will be in Teen Vogue.
Why having affairs is essential on the path to being a powerful world leader and world domination.
Cue the noise from Baba O'Reilly by The Who, and then a freeze frame, and then you're probably wondering how I got there.
Sleazy, untrustworthy, oafish, bad hair. But no matter what happens, your dad will still support the Tory party.
Oh, how to
Sleazy. Sorry, go ahead.
How to deal with journalists who are being difficult. Do you want a cup of tea? Go on, just a cup of tea. Go on.
Sleazy, brutish, bad hair. Still glad I wasn't Trump, aren't you?
Wokeism ruined my party, both Christmas and political.
Yeah.
Any more for that one?
When you weigh up David Cameron, Theresa May, Liz Truss, Rishi Sunak, was I really that bad?
Just one final one. The headline is just
How to outlast a lettuce. Dear Liz.
Julius Caesar, could I maybe be him?
Okay, next one. Things you wouldn't hear at an Oasis reunion.
No, please stop hugging each other. You've got a gig to play.
I love spending time with my children.
I just really miss back when it was in the glass bottle.
No, actually, I think top knots are really hot.
never seen him before.
Step inside.
That's a very music nerd joke, sorry.
That's fine. Go on, Tom.
Step inside the eye of your mind, and you know you might find the cat hole.
Oh my god, I haven't heard anyone play Wonderwall in so long.
Actually, I want to hear Wonderwall again.
I do miss the good old days of drought and desert.
He's got the whole world in his hands.
Our support act is called Eric. He played Wonderwall at a party one time, and now he's
really...
coming on tour.
Okay, but what about a happy song?
Frida Kahlo totally copied our look.
If anyone mentions Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds, I'm going to stab someone.
And now, a song in a different key.
Any more for that one?
Does anybody remember the Beatles? No. Good.
A chorus of "You'll Never Walk Alone."
Okay, final one. Bad Tory by-election campaigns.
Hello, Glastonbury!
Brexit is done. Let's be part of something bigger than us. The USA.
Brexit
Raw
will
sewage in
happen.
the rivers was just the start.
Sorry, Kate, do that again.
Oh, sorry. I said raw sewage in the rivers was just the start.
We are leveling up.
We're leveling up, so now you have to pick a new skill. It's from the... No, you go down the drop down. No. If you pick one of those, then you're not going to get like one of the later ones, and it's...
No, you don't have the class requirement for that one. I think you need to pick a champion trait.
Yeah. No, but in the end, you're going to want this. You've got all your skills in that.
Wokeism hasn't gone far enough.
And I'll tell you what I told Boris at wine night.
Because we're making Britain great again.
We have got rid of Rishi and we have put in the perfect Tory leader. It is the T800.
We're going to start hunting the poor for sport next. That's just...
That would win a Tory by-election. That's not a bad thing.
Any more for that one?
It's a bad thing for us. It's a bad thing for us.
Katie,
Yeah,
sorry.
it's true.
We are the poor's MABEL.
Katie?
As a Conservative MP in this Conservative safe seat, I think that food banks shouldn't exist in one of the richest countries in the world.
Look, the cost of living crisis has hit us all. I know myself. I've had to tighten my belt. I've only been able to put the heat on my swimming pool on 2 times a week.
Tom, I know you think you're being very satirical. I genuinely have a friend whose boss paused everyone's bonuses because of the cost of living crisis and then sold one of his yachts for £30 million. And instead of like giving everyone the bonuses they would have had, used that money to buy Michael Jackson's flat in New York.
Wow.
and this is real. And like, she showed me the news story of it, and she's like, this is the prick that didn't give me the bonus I normally get because of the cost of living.
I used to work for a currency exchange company, and you'd see sometimes what people were spending their money on, and someone tried to buy a lake. And there's a really expensive hotel in Dubai where you literally have like solid gold rooms, and it's £25,000 a night.
Have you seen that? There was like a tweet or a meme or something that was just like rich people have no fucking taste, and like that's it.
Yeah.
Like, sounds tacky as shit.
That would be a really bad Tory by-election slogan. Rich people have no fucking taste.
That would win me over, though.
Right, any more for that one? So that's the final scores.
Bring back hugging.
Bring back glomping.
Oh no.
Oh, I thought of one. This is based off of just the information that I've just received, though. The Tory party, we now own Michael Jackson's house and his monkey, so therefore here is our next speech by the monkey.
We've actually already got 3 women named Liz lined up, so that if we play our cards right, we can have 3 Liz's here instead of our previous record of 2.
Oh,
and if that doesn't work, we've got several Anns. It's okay.
We're going to ban, in
go.
history lessons everywhere, we're going to ban any knowledge of the French Revolution. Don't read it, don't find out about it, just get rid of it.
I'm going to make lettuce illegal.
No lettuce gets better than... I haven't seen any lettuces that went to Merton.
A national manhunt for Jeremy Corbyn.
I was going to say, Gray the Earthling has just put stop Jeremy Corbyn in the chat. This is a genuine thing that they will be doing. I'm calling it now. Like,
they'll be hunting him like a fox with like. They'll be hunting him like a fox with like the red jackets and
Release the hounds.
Exactly.
Right, well, I've put the final scores in, so OBS, so any more you do now will be moot, but if you've got any more, feel free to do that one. But yeah, thanks so much for everyone for watching, and thanks for Sam for designing this whole, everything on OBS, because I would not be able to do it by myself. And a huge thank you to all of our guests for doing this show. I'm going to put all the links in the chat again before we finish, but before I do that, the final scores are KIRSTIE's team on 28 points, and Katie's team win with 31 points. It's a pretty close one. Fab.
That was not sportsmanlike, I'm sorry.
Right, so thanks very much to Katie, KIRSTIE, ISHI, Ella, MABEL, and Tom. I'm going to put all their socials in the chat now, so prepare to click a lot of links if you've not already done so. They're all safe, I promise. And if you've enjoyed the show, we're entirely crowdfunded. You can support us on Patreon. You can donate to PayPal. Everything you donate to our PayPal this week will be split between the acts. You can also subscribe to us on Twitch. We stream usually twice a month at this point. That does go up and down depending on what else we've got going on. But we've got these streams, which is the last Monday of every month, and we also stream edited down version of our live shows the weeks after they occur as well. So that's usually the third Monday of the month. And yeah, so book tickets to our July shows. We've got 3 of them, including ones featuring Tom and myself on different days, but they're both good. So you can book them via OutSavvy and join us here next time on the 31st of July with Elliot Simpson, Kirstie Summers, Daniel McKeon, Eden MW, Quimby Harley, and Stuart Dunlop, where we will be discussing the news of July 2023, including Nadine Dorries refuses to step down until Rishi Sunak replies to her Snapchat, Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg sustained serious head injuries in their cage match, which miraculously actually makes them more intelligent. And Putin's Russian military accidentally invade themselves because the commander forgot to recalibrate Google Maps on their phone. See you next time. Bye-bye.